woman an apology. So you remember the "that man is not real" airplane meltdown?
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
So back in 2023, Tiffany Gomez went viral after freaking out on a commercial flight, insisting someone on board wasn't real. And the internet's verdict was, meme her, laugh, and move on. But fast forward to now, Tiffany just tweeted, "Redemption is near." She tweeted this while retweeting Donald Trump's announcement of the release of the government files on unexplained phenomena, including possible extraterrestrial life. So we've got government officials admitting that there's going to be hidden information released soon, which, by the way, is a distraction tactic. And we got Tiffany out here saying that all will be revealed and that she will be redeemed. So maybe she wasn't drunk. Maybe she wasn't crazy. Maybe she did see something that she couldn't explain and panicked. Maybe the question shouldn't be what was wrong with Tiffany, and maybe it should be what did she see before the rest of us were ready to listen.
That mother back there is not real.
Seekers, man. Did Tiffany see something, bro, we really just didn't see? It's been a minute, man, but I still remember when that meme freaking popped up on the internet. It was everywhere, bro. Like I said, now it's 2026, man, and all this stuff is getting disclosed. All this new info is being revealed to us, so maybe she really did see something. We were just oblivious to it, man.
This NASA from 1991. Oh, yeah, just say 90. February 91 to sell by date, I think. Sounds of it. Now I've got small hands. That is massive.
You want to hear something really fascinating?
Sure. Do you think that dinosaurs are still around today? Are they still alive today?
I think there's some that are still alive in parts of the world like Loch Ness Monster. 11,000 people claim they've seen that thing. There's a lake between New York and Vermont called the Lake Champlain. When I was up there, I talked to Sandy Mancy. I said, "Sandy, do you think you saw a dinosaur?" She said, "No, I know I saw a dinosaur." There have been thousands of sightings, some still alive. They're not as big as they used to be. Nobody lives to be 900 either, like they used to. Some of the larger dinosaurs probably could not even live long enough to reach maturity after the flood. Before the flood, they lived to be 900. After the flood, you read Genesis 11, the dates drop off to 400, 200, 100. So I think they probably died off from climate change or from people hunting them. They called them dragons. Boy, if you kill a dragon, you'd be a hero. And there's lots of legends of people killing dragons. Maybe that's the real history of the world. Dinosaurs lived with man. Noah took them on the ark, probably babies. After the flood, some could not survive long enough to reach maturity, so they died off, and some were hunted to extinction.
You hear the water? They can hear. When I was doing this research on plant intelligence, they have 20 senses. We only have 5. They're picking up magnetic fields, they're picking up pH, they're picking up nitrogen. They have all
How do we
these,
know all this?
There's a group of botanists, and they're doing these cool experiments with plants. They can hear. So if you play a recording of a caterpillar munching on leaves, they'll react and they'll send chemicals into their leaves to make them taste bad or be toxic. They can see. There are vines that change the shape of their leaves depending on the plant they're twining up in order to be hidden. How do they see the shape to imitate it? We don't know. Plants will go toward a pipe with water in it because they can hear the water even though it's totally dry, and they'll send their roots down to it.
Interesting.
I'm not sure what's going on with this new Spotify ad. People are saying that it's very strange. That lady just said she will miss her grandma's funeral to make it to a show. That doesn't sound like a good decision. Now, I'm not sure if they're playing around or this is a joke or something, but something is going on with Spotify. Something is going on with this ad. Something, for real, and I don't know what it is. They gotta be playing around when somebody says that they will sell their soul. That's impossible. Your soul's not for sale. Something's going on with the Spotify ad, bro. That's all I know. But of course, guys, entertainment purposes only, because this is just entertainment. That's all that this is. There's nothing else to it. Shout out to Spotify, yo. I'm not sure what's going on with the Spotify ad. Let me know if you know. I'm out.
Watch this. People always ask me, if you're blind, are you not scared of accidentally dating someone ugly? And I'm here to tell you, And I only found out because after we broke up, all my friends were like, oh, we just thought we should let you know that he was unfortunate looking. Thanks, guys.
A blind British woman is going viral after sharing the story of the ugly man she once dated. Someone asked her if she had ever been with someone unattractive, and she said yes. She was talking about this man. The strange part is that because she's blind, she never saw herself in a mirror or knew what the person beside her actually looked like. She spent years hearing people tell her she was beautiful and that she deserved the best, but those same comments somehow made her believe her boyfriend wasn't good looking enough for her. But here's the shocking part. Everyone else saw him completely differently. To them, he wasn't ugly at all. He was someone who genuinely loved her and accepted her for who she was. Then things got even crazier. She left him and started dating someone else, only for the new boyfriend to eventually betray her and steal from her. And the wildest part, even after everything that happened, she still says her ex was the ugly one.
Now, the few times I've heard my co-host Chaps talk about Yemen, he always brings up Socotra Island.
Yes.
Did you have a chance to go there?
I did. Socotra Island. Oh, it's so beautiful.
It looks like the Lorax made it.
Yes, it is. It has trees that look like umbrellas or broccoli, like you're in the enchanted broccoli forest.
Mm-hmm.
They're extraordinary, these trees. They were my favorite thing about the island was the trees. But also while I was there, I got the chance to do some spelunking. So
Love spelunking.
I love it. And I got to go into these caves. And they have some caves that are so deep. There's lakes underneath them, and you can swim in these underground lakes. It's very untouched, and it's so remote that a lot of news doesn't make it to Socotra Island from the mainland or from anywhere else. I mean, I was talking to these people, and it came up in conversation, and they said, "What's that? What happened?" And I was stunned that
it's stunning.
Yeah.
Because it's so difficult to find anywhere on the planet right now that's not connected to the rest of the world.
So Socotra is completely disconnected. Loaded. If you want to drop off the face of the earth, that's where you go. Man, that actually sounds like a vacation, bro. You don't know what's going on in the world. You just connected with nature.
Not a baby. That's decent.
That's
size.
a pretty
decent size.
That is not a baby bear. I thought the cat was a baby bear.
What the hell is the cat doing?
The cat is like
it's fending it off.
a
Look at its
standoff
back.
with the bear.
Yeah. The cat's standing its ground.
Well, I hope we don't witness this cat get murdered. Oh,
No,
did you see the bear paw at it?
The cat will mess up the bear. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding. I've watched a video of a cat and a bear
Look at this, look at this. They're
I
like,
wish I had my phone. I could take pictures.
I'm videoing the whole thing.
Stand his
There's a little
ground.
bear.
He doesn't care about us either.
Let's see, I don't think I hear anything.
Say the cat.
Hey, you gotta send this stuff to me, all right? Nate?
Okay.
They're feeling it. Ooh, whoa!
Told you.
Yeah,
That's a ballsy cat.
it is. The bear was
I
like,
told you the cat would
the
win.
bear's like, what kind of crazy cat is this?
Cat said, "That's his hood, bro."
Off.
What did
He
I tell
took
you?
off. Good girl.
Good kid.
Wonder where he's going. It's up. That must be the bear.
We just can't eat nothing nowadays. 12,000 pounds of bacon has officially been recalled now. Come on, sip a little tea with Auntie. Let's talk about it. If you live in the state of Idaho, Oregon, or Washington, these were the 3 states where these packs of bacon were sold. You need to listen up to the name and the packaging and sell by dates so you can make sure if you have any of this in your freezer or in your refrigerator, you can throw it out or take it back to the store because it has not made nobody sick or had no injuries or no illnesses from the bacon just yet, but it's been recalled, so you need to make sure you throw it out or take it back to the store. The first type of bacon is a 12-ounce Royal Natural Applewood Smoke All Natural Uncured Bacon. That's the first brand name, y'all, with the sell by date September the 1st, September the 7th, 2026, y'all. Then the second type of bacon is a 12-ounce Top Value Uncured Hardwood Smoked Bacon with sell by dates the 1st, the 2nd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 7th of September 2026. If you have any of the bacon, you need to take it back to the store or discard it immediately, baby, because it's been recalled, y'all. We just can't eat nothing, y'all. When I tell you every week it's a different type of food being recalled, we got lettuce that's giving us the flying shit. We got cows out here sick, so the beef ain't 100%. It's just too much. At this point, we all need to take a lesson of living off the land like our people used to do back in the day and start back, you know, getting out there, planting our own food and, you know, feeding our own animals and all this other good stuff. Because after a while, we ain't going to be able to eat nothing. Thank y'all for sipping a limo tea when I ain't tea. Bye, y'all.
That's the move, man. I don't know how many times, man, a food item has got recalled this year, bro, but we need to keep a list, bro, because it just seems like every other week, man, something else is getting recalled, bro. It's crazy. I don't know why it's keep happening at this alarming rate this year. Makes you think, doesn't it? Hey, man, we need to go back natural. Like she said, we need to start living off the land again.
Hell's Hole is an alleged bottomless pit where thousands of feet of line never reach the bottom. Animals refuse to go near. There's mysterious black beams that rise into the sky from it, and nearby radios supposedly play music from the past, all in the small town of Ellensburg, Washington.
Using AI for just 10 minutes can make you a little bit lazier and a little dumber, it seems. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University, MIT, Oxford University, and UCLA found that using AI for just 10 minutes can have a shockingly negative impact on your ability to think and problem solve. The researchers tasked people with solving problems like simple fractions and reading comprehension through an online platform that paid them for their work. Some were given access to an AI assistant capable of solving the problem autonomously too. Their study found that when the AI helper was taken away, people were significantly more likely to give up on the problem or get their answers wrong. This suggests that although AI might boost productivity, it could be at the expense of developing foundational problem-solving skills. An MIT professor involved with the work told me that the aim was to take broader concerns about long-term human-to-AI interaction and study them in a controlled experiment. He says the takeaway is not that we should ban AI in educational workplaces, but that we should think about how AI can be designed to help humans best. For example, it may be necessary to design AI tools so that they sometimes prioritize a person's learning over just solving problems for them. Putting too much faith in AI is especially problematic when the tools don't behave as you expect. Agentic AI systems can be particularly unpredictable because they do complex things in ways that can produce surprising errors. AI companies are already thinking about the more subtle effects that the models can have on users. OpenAI, for example, previously toned down the so-called sycophancy in some of its models. I recently learned the danger of offloading critical thinking to AI myself, after letting OpenClaw troubleshoot my Linux machine in a way that left it unable to boot. Perhaps, instead of trying to solve the problem for me, that AI system could have paused and taught me how to fix the issue for myself. For more like this, sign up to my AI Lab newsletter at wired.com/newsletters.
Was the Coca-Cola recipe just discovered in an ancient monastery? Well, as we all know, the original piece of paper where Coca-Cola's secret recipe is written has been behind a giant vault for over 100 years. But this week, a pretty incredible discovery was accidentally made in Italy when a priest was going through ancient archives in a 576-year-old pharmacy in Florence. He stumbled across a recipe for a restorative wine elixir, which had the exact same ingredients used in the original version of Coca-Cola, created by the American pharmacist John Pemberton. But what's even more interesting is that the document discovered this week in Florence was written in the mid-1800s, roughly 30 years before the original Coca-Cola recipe. Now, there's no evidence to suggest that these two are connected, but it does mean that the drink, which today sells over 2.2 billion units every day, may not have been the first of its kind.
What do you think was chasing this man in his boat? It wasn't a fish. Whatever this creature is, it has arms and it is swimming like an Olympic athlete. This is supernatural. This is without a doubt not a fish. Whatever this thing is has arms. I'm not saying it's a mermaid. No human I've ever seen swims this fast. You could actually see the glow in its eyes as it was watching this man while it was swimming. This boat would have been a little bit slower, we would have never saw this video.
Formal written agreements between the US government and a group of extraterrestrials who we like to call the reptilians, in exchange for tech help, that the reptilians are using the American secret space program as a mercenary lapdog force, as a lapdog mercenary force to shoot down the ETs that are being flown by the good guys. Because if you give the tech to the American secret space program, and say, go out and shoot down those ships. The good guys are not going to fire back because they're here to try to help humanity, to release this humanity from this essentially a prison that we're in here.
What if Mr. Beast actually is the Antichrist, though? Fam, they say, like, people will have the mark of the beast. Yeah. The beast will be, like, the Antichrist. Fam, his name. They say he will perform miracles and stuff, too. Yeah. Like another Messiah. What does Mr. Beast do? Give people sight? Water? You know what I'm saying? He made the blind see. I'm not saying that he's, like, anything like that, but I think he's a nice guy. Yeah, I think, but every kid, the new generation, is following him. And why hasn't the government shut him down yet? Because the government is using him, too. That's how you're supposed to be deceived, as somebody that you think is good. And you never know. We're in a Mr. Beast call, we just don't know it. Oh, like a subscriber? No, we're in a Mr. Beast call right now, we just don't know it.
Other people in the gym. So we got the private room over here. This is just a little room where I can hide out.
Neuralink, which is a computer chip surgically implanted into the brain. Elon Musk gave you a Neuralink, bro. I would love one, by the way.
Yeah. You put one in?
Oh, 100%.
I would.
So that's our first time seeing a Mr. Beast clip. You want a Neuralink in him? That's raising my antennas, bro. Like I said, I've been seeing, you know, we've seen videos over the years where people saying it's like something behind Mr. Beast's eyes, saying like that there's some evil behind it. Do you guys think there's something going wrong with Mr. Beast, or he's just a nice guy, just trying to help people?
Sony just announced that they are getting rid of 551 movies on their user library. That means any movie that you downloaded, any movie that you paid for, if it's one of those 551 movies, it's going to be gone. And this is taking effect September 1st, 2026. Do you know what that means? If you bought any of those films on PlayStation, you must have thought you had the rights, right? Well, that means you don't have the rights. That means it's gone. And this is like the same thing Sony is doing, saying that they're not making physical discs anymore. This means you won't own anything anymore. They want everything to be digital. But you know what that means, right? That means they have the power to take everything away. And you're going to have somebody say, well, digital is better. Physical items take up too much space. That's not the point. This means that you will never own certain things again. This means if they want to take it away from you, they can take it away from you. Which means music might be next. They're already destroying books. And you're not able to do nothing about it. Because all of this is going to be digital. So starting September 1st, 2026, Sony is going to own everything you pay for. I bet you hear me now, right? Same thing with Prime. Same thing with Netflix. Same thing with Tubi. We don't own anything. You paying attention, right? I'm out.
Yep. That's exactly why you need to own a physical disc, bro. That's actually crazy, man. Like, they take away the movies and stuff, but they ain't going to refund you that money back, though. They ain't going to do that. That would be nice. Get off. Okay, you're gonna take the movies. You don't have the license no more. Okay, put that money right back into my account then. Like, what am I paying for then, bro? Like I said, it's just a service. We're just renting stuff. We're not owning it.
First time ever, Oreo is selling creme cookies made from petroleum-derived compounds. The sneaky loophole was exposed after a closer look at their ingredients. 3 petroleum-derived flavorings, whipped white, and sold with 0 actual cream.
Oreo is gluing cream without a single cow and calling it Milk's favorite cookie. That creamy center is barely food. It's genetically modified corn syrup cut with hexane-flushed fat, a petroleum solvent, then laced with vanillin into stiff grease. The cookie is worse. Cocoa dumped into alkali baths, the same potash used to cure soap, then gassed with chemical leaveners, blasted through a 300-foot oven, and sandwiched as America's #1 cookie. That cookie flagged bioengineered ingredients with so little cocoa it's not legally chocolate on Exposer. Comment app to scan safer alternatives.
This is proof right here. They messing with time. Look at this. Look, I'm looking at the clock like, hold on. This say 4:44 a.m. This is 4:48. Look at this, y'all. Look. I told people that they are playing with time. And look how quick it changed. Look, 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 look. Watch this. Look. Look. They are speeding up time. Look. You guys, ain't no way that changed that quick. Look. Look at this shit, bro. This is crazy work, bro. This is crazy work. This is crazy work.
It
This
is.
the old rinky dinky clock. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. I told you they do stuff. You gotta catch stuff in the morning. You have to catch it in the morning time. Look for your very own eyes, people. How? Come on now. Look. Shit. They are playing with time because time doesn't exist. Look how this shit is changing that quick.
Drones. Here we go, man. And they will blend right into.
Why would you want to drink this? 7 deadly sins: wrath, greed, envy, lust, gluttony, sloth, and vanity. Yeah, let's name a wine after it and drink that. What's up with this, Costco? Cults? Cults? What is... Why is wine so demonic? Those are just the 2 I looked at. I don't even drink wine. If I did, it wouldn't be those.
I don't think I came back this time. I, Brooke Linden, acknowledge that TP 1.8 is in trial stage. Any side effects experienced are not the responsibility of Humane Incorporated. Describe the product in your own words. It's identity replacement therapy. I get an injection, then a headset delivers guided voice induction, and together they relocate my consciousness to a better version of myself. First relocation in 3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Somewhere else, another version of myself was there. She wasn't afraid of anything. She asked me to stay with her. Attempting relocation.
She's cooked.
Miss Linden, please return to the chair. Miss Linden.
No, that's straight. Look at her. We've been out here for a while. Look at her still out here watching a golf. It's actually cooled down, thankfully. We got a nice cigar going right there.
Yeah, it has cooled down. Well, that's
what?
coming out of the trees, guys.
Is that an orangutan? Wait, hold it. Does that guy know there's an orangutan next to him? Somebody's got to ask him.
Apple's patent describes what you're seeing not as a wireless headphone, but as a biosensing signal device, and notes that, quote, brain activity can be monitored using electrodes placed on the scalp of a user. If this patent is to be taken seriously, and we presume it should be, Apple plans to monitor the brain activity of more than 100 million AirPod users.
Wired, best way to go.
Did our ancestors walk around all day with water bottles, sipping nonstop? No, they didn't. Yet today, everywhere you go, someone's pushing water on you. At restaurants, meetings, social events. Drink, drink, drink all day long. 8 glasses minimum, regardless if you're thirsty or not. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against water. We need water. We can't live without it. But here's the point that rarely anyone is talking about. We can actually drink too much water. And what happens when you drink too much water, especially after exercise? You're going to dilute sodium, and not just sodium, other electrolytes as well. This condition has a very specific name called hyponatremia. At first, you're going to feel tired, weak, and kind of foggy. And then the symptoms can actually get worse. It could be very, very dangerous. In your mind, you might think, I'm drinking water. I'm becoming more hydrated. Hydration is water plus electrolytes, like sodium.
Be careful.
Did you know that you could be sitting at your desk or eating dinner with your family, and then all of a sudden your brain sort of like misfires and then triggers an episode of transit global amnesia, and you completely forget who the person sitting across from you is, or what year it is, or what your name is, or where you live, or what you do for a living, but you'll still like know how to drive a car. Yeah, and this can be triggered by a plethora of things, but it doesn't have to be triggered by like any sort of seizure or brain injury or concussion. Like, it can just happen, and victims usually end up in like this horrific loop of just not knowing anything and asking the same questions over and over and over again. like every couple of minutes. And this can happen to you or me. This is a very scary phenomenon, but it's okay because it probably won't happen. I don't know for sure. I'm not a doctor. Come and go in waves and like episodes. Oh, and your brain completely wipes away the ability to like create new memories as well as recall old ones. So that's what I learned today. Goodbye at the end. Ask a doctor if you're concerned.
Oh, that's a scary fact, man. You just get amnesia out of nowhere, just like that. I didn't know something like that was possible till today. I make every memory count.
Is nobody going to mention how hundreds of flights were either grounded or diverted across 9 Midwest states yesterday, which was August 6th? This was reportedly due to a temporary radar and radio equipment outage. But this didn't occur just anywhere, okay? This happened at a major Minneapolis air traffic control facility. A facility that handles air traffic across 330,000 square miles. Delays at Minneapolis St. Paul averaged 90 minutes, while other delays across various states remained throughout the evening. But here's the thing, right? Because throughout the past week now, a widespread campaign of cyber attacks hit water utilities across 12 different U.S. states, including Michigan and Minnesota. Minnesota specifically, more than 30 community water systems were impacted. But check this out, right? Because in Georgia, the Clayton County Water Authority, which serves 300,000 customers in the Atlanta area, said cyber activity last month caused a water pressure drop and forced the agency to issue a boil water advisory. Service was restored within hours, however. But some utilities have lost critical remote control capabilities, forcing operators to switch to manual mode. In several cases, the hackers gained remote access to pumps, valves, and water pressure. Definitely not concerning or anything, but something is starting to feel a little bit off, wouldn't you say?
Our secret ingredient is
we
you.
know that reptilians and Draco, the blood sacrifices, the whole Luciferian thing, I mean, that humans have been eaten and taken off planet, etc., and used for slaves and other colonies, etc.
I hate to say that, but that's far worse than what you just said.
It's far worse.
Yes, far worse.
Yeah.
And that the whole blood situation it's unbelievable.
Right.
I don't know how we say that to the public. I don't know how. But wait a minute, just a second. On that part of this whole subject, to me, if we get into that, and I know all about it, far more than
sure.
All right. When we get into that, if we release it, 70-80% of everybody that listens to your program is going to say, "You're smoking pot." I don't believe that, and I don't believe anything you people talk about on extraterrestrial. And it's going to what disclosure is trying to do. That's my point, but you know the part that I don't want to talk about.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how they know this, but they're telling us that trillions of gallons of water will fall across California next week. I don't know how they know this, y'all, but do y'all see this over here? What is going on here? And then the skies of California are already looking apocalyptic. In a kind of good way, though. Check this out over here. Check this out over here, y'all. Look at this. Y'all ever seen it this vivid? Look at this new color. It looks like there's a new color, like a teal on the outside of this purple. Can y'all see that? You can see it on this side too. Look. It's like a teal. What? Take a look at this one over here, y'all. People were seeing it all over the skies of California. Y'all, it literally looks like another world out there. Look how dark and gray this part of the sky is. And look what's up there. These double rainbows are something new, aren't they, family? Like, this is something that we have never seen before. It looks like something is intersecting. You guys know about that binary star that they be telling us about? It looks like something is intersecting with our sun. It's the Lord of the Rings up there. Saturn is the Lord of the Rings. And again, how do they know about these trillion gallons of water? So California, all I would say is, hold on, y'all, man. The shift is here, man. They've been warning people about getting out of California for quite some time now, y'all. But this right here, let me know that in the comments below what you think. The shift is here.
We're now living in a world where preschools are the ones training AI. University of Washington researchers planned a study in Seattle where teachers would wear small cameras that captured a first-person view of the classroom, including the children that they were teaching, and that footage would go on to train AI models. The most ridiculous part is it was set up so that children would be automatically included unless parents explicitly opted out. The document said that footage might be processed by cloud-based AI services, but did not name specific models or companies. So parents had no way to know what exact AI tools or things that the child's likeness might fuel or whom that data might be shared to. People talk about companies like OpenAI, Google, and Amazon being a part of this larger pattern of invasive AI training. If you're like me and want to know what companies are doing things like this and what companies to support instead, you can use the Conscious app to find the most ethical companies. So you don't have to second guess yourself when you are supporting.
Why we always finding out, man, that we like are secretly training AI models, bro? That video is always coming out, man, coming out of the woodworks. Like, bro, remember what happened with the Pokemon Go? People going around taking pictures of Pokemon that's training freaking AI models, and then we got preschoolers doing it too. Where's the line at, man?
On the news, they said that people were entering and exiting Brooklyn sewer manholes, and now they're saying they're believed to be treasure hunters or urban explorers looking for valuables in the sewer system. Not mole people or scaly people, just treasure hunters, apparently. Y'all remember when people were in sewer systems in New York before? Remember when all that news footage came out and then kind of just disappeared all at once, but we didn't stop talking about it, even though the news stopped talking about it? You know, those long been conspiracies of mole people and people living underground. But when it comes to people being in tunnels underneath New York City, this goes into other things too, not just the supernatural or the mole people. You know, and they said CBS News in New York actually has footage of it, but the photos they're releasing are super blurry and you can't really make it out, which really doesn't help the theories that are going around. You know, and there's a whole group of people that like to explore abandoned buildings and tunnels and stuff like this, but in this case, a group of 8 men went into a manhole at 1 a.m. and then climbed out a couple hours later, which I guess in theory still matches the whole urban explorer thing. But just like this guy that they interviewed, all of this seems real suspicious to me. Really odd, really suspicious, but like most things, I'm probably just reading too much into this, and it's probably just weirdos being in tunnels. I guess we'll just wait and see how much the news actually covers it.
Nah, bro. I think I do remember that footage, man, of those clips a while back, bro. People coming out of here, like I said, a manhole, man. We got an underground city in California, bro. Man, well, let's find out, man. We got one in New York too, man. What happens? Are those two connected? Let me find out, man. We got some freaking underground cities, bro, in these major cities that we never noticed before.
The world's richest man has an exciting announcement about AI.
It's pretty obvious that we're going to have AI that is vastly smarter than humans. AI unequivocally smarter than humans in every way, including in innovation, is probably not more than a year or two away. Jesus, this is kind of boring. I hope it's nice to us, you know?
New close-up and very clear Bigfoot video was just shared. It was posted on May 2nd, 2026. The location of the encounter was left unknown, but it was reportedly in an overgrown, secluded section of forest, a place where human life is rarely seen. Allegedly, a wildlife photographer ventured out there this day and came across something completely unexpected. A huge, dark, primate-style creature.
That definitely looks like Bigfoot. Could be Cap, though.
He quickly pulled out his video camera and took the quick clip we see now. The creature is seen in one of the most HD alleged captures of all time.
That's 4K, man.
It's so clear we can see its back muscles through its fur. We can even see sunlight shining down through the trees, reflecting onto the creature. It's extremely detailed. It looks exactly like an ape-human hybrid, too upright to be an ape, but too large and hairy to be a human. It kind of reminds me of the Patterson-Gimlin film. The uploader states, quote, "How can you deny this video of Bigfoot? I mean the quality of that. People are going to say this is AI, but have you seen AI as good as this?" End quote. What do you guys think? If it is real, it truly is one of the most undeniable videos of Bigfoot. I just hope more proof comes out about this one. Maybe more footage, more witnesses, or maybe even just some more details. Now, of course, this is what my channel is all about, so you guys know the drill. I'll keep you all in the loop if anything further is released. It should actually look
I need more footage.
People from
That was one of the things I had real trouble with other insiders. Remember, I told you this, Corey, that nobody wanted to say that there were black-looking people anywhere but on Earth. And it was like there's this racism inside the cabal. They don't want black people to know that they have extraterrestrial ancestry.
Right, and you were being told that black people didn't serve.
Didn't serve in the space program.
Right, and there were people from all races. So
right, very interesting.
Why is that?
I don't know how to feel about this because Harvard scientists recreated a 3D model of what Mary, the mother of Jesus, would look like. This person looks awfully familiar, and this is, and I quote, based on historical data from the 1st century Middle Eastern woman. I mean, it looks like Lady Gaga. It looks like Lady Gaga. Like, literally, compare this to this. I don't quite know how to feel about this. I think mainly because Lady Gaga's not Middle Eastern, but maybe Middle Eastern women look different in the 1st century. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. To the Harvard scientists who put this out, would you like to confirm or deny?
It definitely looked like Lady Gaga, bro. Like, mashed it up, picture to picture. I don't know what that model was on, man, but like we found out, bro. They said Mother Mary looked exactly like Lady Gaga. How you feel about that, Seekers?
Tech company, they have officially invented an artificial egg that can fertilize through DNA a living chicken. It has no mother or father. It doesn't come from a real egg. It is purely a creature of science, and it was just born. It was just hatched. And they're doing this because they want to raise an extinct bird called the South Island giant moa. So this is what the artificial egg looks like. It runs at room temperature and fits inside a regular incubator. And apparently they want all sorts of birds. They want to save all the birds. They're big on birds.
What's that? Oh, a farmer catches a helicopter dropping thousands, if not millions of ticks into his farm, and things are getting a little bit wild. Jelly Bob! This is wild. The farmer's going out, kind of going through his land, and he notices a helicopter coming up, and it starts to drop all these ticks. So that video is going viral and circulating right now because he caught people in the act of doing this. The helicopter hurried and flew away, but things picked up a little bit quickly. After a few days of these ticks being around, the man actually started to find certain things that were dead on his property from these ticks. For example, he actually came across a moose on his property that was killed by these ticks.
Scary.
Hey, hold it, bro. Hold it. Oh, that's like 4 or 5 different stripes of light, though.
Yep.
Fuck no, the cars ain't that fucking tall. They don't go that high. The lights don't go that high.
This is not just visitors from other planets coming here, but it is part of something much bigger, much more wondrous, much more mysterious, and a lot harder for us to get our heads around. I don't think we would disintegrate with the general idea that aliens are coming here to visit us because they've been coming a long time. They haven't blown us up yet. So what's the threat? However, what if the ultimate disclosure is not that simple? What if they are describing something else entirely? By the way, yeah, the aliens are here. They're not really from other planets. They are actually interdimensional beings. They live here among us all the time, separated by a thin psychic membrane of some sort. They can see everything you do. They can read your mind. They can interact with our lives at any time, come and go as they please, at will. You can't see them. You can't know it. How do you like that? You talk about people freaking out? That would have you freaking out.
Definitely would. Instant come from a different dimension?
Say desperate times called for desperate measures. Which one US handyman knows better than most? The soaring cost of fuel prompting 30-year-old Miles Hightower to transform this pink Barbie camper into a more efficient ride. It runs on an old power washer motor and costs a fraction to fill up at the Bowser compared to his typical work car.
Well, compared to my regular car, this usually takes about, I don't know, maybe like $3 max to fill it up, depending on how the gas is. Now, my gas is at like $5 a gallon almost, so if I want to fill this is a 2-gallon tank, so, oh my God, I didn't even think about it like that.
The car still features lights, music, and a tablet screen for navigation.
My man getting creative out here, bro. He said, "Freak that gas price, man. I'm about to just downgrade my car, bro." That's actually crazy, man, that these gas prices had to make that man resort to that, bro. People got here. He probably looking at everybody else like, they crazy paying those prices, man. You said, get creative out here, bro.
You mean to tell me that NASA didn't have the capabilities to warn anybody about that meteor that hit Boston yesterday? A meteor traveling at 75,000 miles per hour hit Massachusetts yesterday. This meteor hit surface so hard and it was so loud that people heard it in Boston, that people heard it in Rhode Island, that people heard it in New Hampshire. Mind you, it touched ground in northeastern Massachusetts. And let me say this, that meteor was probably more than 7 tons. Matter of fact, listen to how loud this shit was. Listen. Did you just hear that?
I did.
Hold on one time. Hold on. Listen. Mind you, this is in different areas, in different places. Nah, man. You gonna have people say it's normal for meteors to hit the Earth. And even though that may be true, you're telling me a meteor that big, coming at Earth that fast, is normal? Then might I add, what was the boom that everybody heard in South Carolina? Along with the sonic boom they heard in Boston, in New England, in New Hampshire, in Rhode Island. They also heard something in South Carolina. And let me reiterate, that meteor was moving at 75,000 miles per hour. Tell me what's normal about that. I'm out.
These videos have tried to be debunked, but still to this day haven't been debunked. Like, obviously you have people on the internet trying to debunk and saying, like, people who don't believe in aliens or like UFOs and shit, be like, nah, that's just a ship, like that's an airplane, like this is bull. But like people who are like astronomers, professional researchers, they've looked over and over at this footage and they cannot come to a conclusive answer to what it is. They can't debunk it at all, bro. So those two things right there are supposedly like the windows. No, the aliens.
What?
You see it? I see them. Yes, bro. And you will constantly see this from either like 2 to 6 a.m. in the morning, bro. Always during the same times. Wait, so they're floating over the water right now? Yes, yes.
2009.
Yo, the dog is looking at me. Yeah, bro. What the? It's literally looking at the lights. Nah, that already looks crazy right there. And mind you, this footage was taken on a camera that's filmed on the cassette tapes, those like mini tapes. So you can't edit it, you can't do CGI, it's not digital. So whenever people look over the footage, they see, yo, this is authentic cassette tape footage, bro, right? There was this guy, his name is Yelchin Yalman. He lived in Turkey, and he had this really, really like big fascination regarding aliens or UFOs. That's where he would become a night guard. And some random stranger will come up to him and be like, you should go buy a camera. That's all he said. What the fuck? The next day, 60.
Hey, man, we need to bring back the cassette tapes, bro. Bring back the OG, the retro, man, way of filming, bro. So you can't freaking edit or doctor that footage, man. Like you said, you couldn't debunk it because it's on that cassette tape. And we definitely saw that dog watching those lights, bro, that was moving. And you said those were aliens? Whoa. I have no words for that one, man.
4 million mosquitoes are said to be released across California and Florida. And you might be surprised to hear who is behind this. Google, of all companies, has applied for a permit to introduce a new population of mosquitoes into the wild in order to wipe out the disease-ridden population. Well, the U.S. about to have a mosquito civil war on their hands. So at first, this sounds absolutely insane, right? But Google thinks this is a good idea because these mosquitoes in particular have 2 secret weapons. The first being that they're all male, and fun fact, males don't bite humans, so they can't spread disease further. That also does kind of mean that the civil war is going to be male versus female, to make things even crazier. And secondly, these mosquitoes will carry a naturally occurring bacteria called Wolbachia, which essentially makes them sterile and unable to reproduce with the female mosquitoes. Damn, they really got the bros locked in on this battle. So, the idea is that over time, the species responsible for spreading deadly diseases like dengue fever, Zika virus, and other West Nile viruses could be dramatically reduced without the need for toxic pesticides. But I know you're probably wondering, Google? Why is my search engine now starting mosquito civil wars? Well, in short, the answer is because they are one of the only companies in the world to have the budget, the ability, and the technology to pull off something like this. And of course, money spent on health takes up about 10% of global GDP. That's about $10 trillion a year. So if Google's technology can reduce global health costs, save lives, while also getting themselves into a big new market, well, sure, that's part of it too. But what do you guys think? Will the public trust a company like Google with an endeavor like this, or not?
I don't, because that can easily turn into something else, man. What happens if those freaking mosquitoes freaking, evolve, man? Like on Dragon Ball Z, bro, and turn into something else, man. They're gonna mix with the female mosquitoes, bro, and make a new breed where it doesn't even matter no more, man. I don't trust it, bro. I don't want bugs evolving, bro. Or, those mosquitoes freaking, evolving. You know what I mean, man.
Happened to Selena Gomez. Who is this right here, you all? Again, I don't know what is going on anymore, but something weird is definitely going on with these celebrities, because this doesn't even look like the same person, at least to me. This was Selena Gomez just a year ago. A year ago. So who is this? Huh? Who is this? A year ago, she looked completely different, and now a year later, she looks even more different. That's also a very interesting style of shoe she is wearing, and I will just leave it at that. But seriously, who is this person? What happened to Selena Gomez? Because something seems off here, you all. And I know I'm not the only one out there that finds this to be bizarre. But maybe there is nothing to this at all. Maybe this is the same person and she just lost a lot of weight. I know I'm not one to speak on that issue, but seriously, what is going on? Wake up.
1994, okay. We're gonna see some sirens, mermaids. Is that the sun? I don't think so. What the hell are those?
They're being surrounded by friggin' UFOs. The Coast Guard.
The oars.
5110, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lights we see there. They've been coming on, they work 7 lights.
Get out of here.
Oh, this is a big deal.
That ain't the Coast Guard, buddy.
Now they're openly telling you who's going to pay for these AI surveillance centers, because that's exactly what they are. Here's Larry Fink sitting with the governor of Texas telling us all that you're going to pay for it. Your savings account is going to pay for it. Your pension funds, insurance companies, they're going to pay for the AI data. Because if we don't, then China's going to get to us first. Here's one of the world's predator elite in the predator elite class, who he himself isn't going to pay for it. It's going to be you. And sadly, millions of Americans are openly cheering for the demise of our own nation right out in the open.
Americans to think about growing with the United States. We will have far than enough money to invest in this infrastructure. But as the governor was talking about, the need for electrons is growing every day. Some of these, if we're going to be the leader in technology, which we are,
If we are going to be the leader in AI, which we presently are, it's just going to require trillions of dollars of investments. And if we don't invest in it, China will be the global leader in this. And so to me, it's not whether, this is a must. And if you think about how that translates, it translates into a more dynamic economy. We need the United States economy to grow at over 2%. We need the U.S. economy to grow at 3%, especially with the growing deficits the federal government has. And so much of this money, not just the private, is going to be coming from the private sector, from savings accounts, from pension accounts, from insurance companies, and on and on and on. The whole world is in need of improving the infrastructure.
Are you awake yet?
I'm definitely awake, bro. And I did not like hearing that, man. Like every single time when these speaking people come up with these great ideas and stuff like that, we the ones who end up funding it and paying for it. Aren't they the ones who have all the damn money? So why we gotta be stuck with the bill, man? And if we investing in the AI stuff, bro, where's my check at, bro? Because yeah, they're gonna take the money from our accounts, but I guarantee we ain't gonna see a return on that, bro. They're gonna be like, okay, yeah, thanks for the help, but we keeping our cut. I don't know about y'all guys, bro. Like, come on, man. People need to wake up, bro, like you said.
Decades, radio operators have picked up on strange frequencies that, when listened to, contain eerie sounds, robotic voices, and even little girls singing, and nobody knows where it's coming from. And despite these ghost frequencies being officially captured by public radio operators as well as police vehicle radios, there has never been any official acknowledgement from the government on these frequencies. I've got a few examples of these sound waves hitting people's radios. I want you to check it out, even though it's a little disturbing, and let me know where you think these are coming from.
The radio kill ascension. $30 for essentials plus $10 for Galaxy S and even all day givers.
The government only mentioned 4 aliens because that's who they work with. The Nordics, reptilians, the Greys, Dracolians, that's their team. They will never tell you about the ones that's really helping us. You ever heard about the bird people? Nope. Or I should say, the blue avians. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. What you're looking at right now is Cygnus. Cygnus star constellation is where the bird people come from. Just remember this, every life form you see on this planet, it came from another source. Birds are messengers because they come from the blue avians. You know how they say if a bird shit on you, it's good luck. The birds are the watchers in our reality. Or I should say, they are the eyes from the higher source. You ever notice when birds land on a tree, they always go to the last branch and they just watch everything. The blue avians are the watchers. Energy, 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 energy. Their personality and behavior traits is really angelic. Peaceful, compassionate, committed, harmony, balance, non-violence. They are really introverts, so they don't be in crowded areas. Negativity, arguments, it drains them. How many times you've been drained by people? Right now we are in UFO disclosure. So if the elites want to tell us about their team, we should speak about our team. Yes, they are on our team. Higher dimensional beings. Next time you see a bird following you around, a bird might fly in your house. Don't look at it like it's just a bird. It's a message. Once again, the insectoids, Dracolians, Nordics, and the Greys, they work with the elites. So that's why they felt real comfortable telling people this. They're introducing their team. Everything in the universe is about currency, energy, frequency, vibration. If you are vibrating high, the real ones will come to you. If you are vibrating low, the demonic ones will come to you. It's really that simple. We just made it complicated. Get your energy up because shit is changing. It's so many people that gave their blood and their DNA to the system. If you did this, they know who you are. We are about to see the old earth go bye-bye and a new earth is being born. But the earth will do a natural detox and flush away all the parasites. So you have to ask yourself, are you a parasite to this planet? If so, you better change.
I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like, you gotta bend it so far before it will break. You guys, I got a rubbery avocado. Wait, I need to ship this. This is insane. Oh, disgusting. Banana is not supposed to bend that way. Dude, look at this. Just look at this. This is supposed to be an orange. Come check this. Ariana, what are you doing here? I thought it was watermelon season.
But since when is watermelon doing this? I'm trying to break it.
If you see this at night, someone is marking down where you and your kids live. And if you own a car, they have been following that vehicle and they know when all of you are alone. People were terrified after a mother went viral showing a white dot on her car, so then noticing people following her and her kids.
Somebody obviously has been watching me.
Marking down where they sleep to following their routine for weeks. And when she went to the police, they told her that she was imagining it. Haunting reports show that it is not one person doing this, and they keep changing their tactics, and it's getting more and more sinister each time. First, it was zip ties left on car door handles, then coins wedged into the handles so the doors would not shut, and now white dots stamped directly onto the glass, marking exactly which car has Kit. Happening all across the country, and each time no one has ever been caught. But it gets much worse because if you found a white dot on your car tomorrow morning, there is no one you can call, no investigation that will be open, and either the people designed to protect you do not believe you, or they're choosing to look the other way. But authorities say they have found zero evidence that any of these markings have ever been linked to a single person.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove, man.
Such memorable, glorious, unforgettable times we had here. This freedom of time. It is. We return to the throne in our day. We were fooled into working more than less. He is his moment.
What are they doing? What's that bell signifying?
You realize there's people out here that know almost everything about you and you never even met them yet? I remember years ago I met this guy that was following this woman online. She was very successful, highly accomplished, a multi-millionaire. And one day this guy shows me this woman's page and he tells me, I'm gonna get her. He's telling me all this stuff about how much money she's made, where she lives and how big her house is. And just going on and on about all the materialistic things that she has. At the time I didn't think much of it because I didn't know this woman personally. So I honestly didn't care. Fast forward like 6 months later and I see him again. And this time he's with the woman that he was showing me and now they're in a serious relationship. And the wildest part was she told me that they met randomly and they instantly connected. She said she knew nothing about him and he knew nothing about her. Meanwhile, this dude already been watching this woman for months, but she doesn't even know this. He been studying her. He knew what she liked. liked, the lifestyle that she responded to, what impressed her, and he knew what kind of man that she was looking for. And I remember him telling me the reasons that he liked her. It had nothing to do with her personality, her character. It was strictly her money, success, lifestyle, and visibility. And this woman eventually gave this man unlimited access to everything, her personal accounts, all her finances, and everything started going downhill from there. Now, why am I saying this story? Because social media has made people far more observable than people realize. People think they just posting photos, vacations, accomplishments, luxury purchases, relationship problems, emotional captions, routines, and business success. But what they're really doing is building a psychological profile of themselves in public. Now people know where you go, your emotional patterns, your standards, your routine, even your vulnerabilities before they shake your hand. This conversation is usually only framed around wealthy men being targeted by gold diggers. But successful women need just as much discernment today because they're targeted too. Because there are absolutely people out here that will approach you strategically once they see the money, the success, the visibility, and the opportunity that's attached to your name. The scary part is sometimes the person that's being studied, they think the meeting was just a random coincidence. Meanwhile, the other person been planning this approach for months. And I'm not saying this to say that you should be paranoid or that you shouldn't trust people. But I am saying this to say that privacy matters, your discernment matters, and your boundaries absolutely matters. Because in today's world, a lot of people aren't watching you because they admire you. They're watching you to study you so they can eventually take advantage of you.
He was speaking nothing but facts, man. That's why you gotta be careful what you post, bro. Thought that like he was building, damn near no. He built a profile on her, and she gave away the whole playbook. So it was easy for him. All he had to do was just study, and look what happened. Like you said, he just wanted access to her money, bro. Be careful what you post on Line Seekers, man. We got some parasocials, bro. We got the parasocials out there as well. Careful.
No way. Wow. There's so many videos where people showing us something that's going on with the time. What a time to be alive. Shut up! This is ridiculous, guys. Because these days are going real fast. Way faster than it's ever been. Could it be that time is speeding up because something is about to happen? I wouldn't know. But it's something to think about. Shut up! Something's going on here. It's almost like we're getting back to the times where time didn't exist. We're talking thousands of years ago. You think people were pulling out their watch like, hey, what time is it? Shut up! This needs to stop. Now, just bring my guys, entertainment purposes only. Are you serious? Maybe that clock needed a new battery, right? And to be honest with you, I don't know who that guy was in that video, straight up and down. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about this. You think time is speeding up? Because I do, and everybody's talking about it. Let me know. I'm out.
I do think time is speeding up, though, because sometimes I just look up, I'm like, it's 12 o'clock, I look down. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm like, damn, bro. With the time, time, I don't know, is it subjective to people, sometimes? But I think I feel time like moving up, bro, speeding up. These days, man, they're ending quick, bro. Something going on, man. And like you said, that's not the only clip I've seen about somebody saying time has sped up.
Photo taken in the ICU is absolutely insane. So the person in the hospital bed had survived a really bad car accident and had just woke up out of a coma. The family gathered around to take photos, and in this particular photo, they caught something weird. If you look at the upper left-hand corner of the screen, there's a person standing there that wasn't there when the photo was taken. And if you notice, the person is solid black, which is really weird because usually when you catch ghosts on camera, they're more of a grayscale. In this one, too, you can see the features of the ghost. It has white glowing eyes. You can see a shirt. You can see the ears. You can even see their hair in a bun. Now, the spirit doesn't seem to be malevolent. It's leaning over to take a photo with the man. But it makes you wonder what happened to it and why it's in the ICU and why she isn't like a grayscale like most ghosts. I wonder if it has something to do with her passing. Again, I don't get a negative vibe from it. But what do you guys think? Let me know.
Yeah, it's definitely over for America. You guys are going to have to give us back everything. Listen to what they are teaching the first graders now, y'all. Now, they're still trying to lie to them and tell them that it's the Native Americans, but it's only a matter of time till everybody knows the truth. Listen to this.
I said, what people used to steal stuff?
White people used to steal stuff?
Yeah.
When?
come here. Tell me about it.
I heard a story from school.
That white people used to steal stuff?
Yeah.
When?
And kill people.
Yeah? You talking about?
They be friends together.
Are you talking about Thanksgiving?
No.
Before Thanksgiving?
No.
Just in general?
No, I'm talking about white people used to steal stuff and kill people, but now they were friends.
Friends with who?
With the normal people's skin.
The normal people's skin?
Yeah.
You mean like Native Americans?
Yeah.
So first the white people killed the Native Americans and they became friends with them?
Yeah.
That's not 100% true.
Wow.
White people kind of killed them and then stole all their land. And now we have America. But yeah, the part about white people stealing and killing them that part's true. They teaching this in first grade, dude? Hey, wait, before we lose track of your focus. They're teaching you this in first grade?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, that's good stuff.
Did you hear what the kid said? He said the people with the normal kind of skin. But this is crazy, y'all. This is what they're teaching kids in the first grade now? Yeah, it's over for y'all, America. You might as well give us everything back. It's going to happen regardless. You might as well start now. But let me know what you guys think about this video. The shit is here, y'all. Let's get it. Peace in.
Teleported in a restaurant that was supposed to be closed. So this restaurant is closed, everyone's gone, and this person is by themselves. And they call this on camera.
Could be a glitch.
Confused. But he definitely just appeared out of nowhere. Stay weird.
Let me tell you about some of the things I just learned today. Tom Cruise is older than Gandalf. Tom Cruise is almost 63 years old today, while Ian McKellen, who is the actor who played Gandalf, was 62 years and 5 months old. 15 million people who bought Grand Theft Auto 5 have passed away while waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. Terry Irwin has not been on a date since losing her husband, Steve Irwin, 20 years ago now. Rob Schneider recently said publicly that Adam Sandler has called him every week for the past 30 years. LA has more taco trucks than gas stations, as it should be. I'll pay the premium prices for the tacos, but not the gas. That's actually literally like double the amount of taco trucks. That's amazing. Central Park is larger than the entire country of Monaco, and it also is about double the size. Kind of close. Hawaii is moving towards Japan 4 inches a year, or 10 centimeters if you feel that way. If you feel that. That was the most American line I've ever said.
If you're unfamiliar where Pace, Florida is, it's located right up there in the Panhandle. Residents were startled and woken right out of their sleep at around 5 a.m. to a crazy sound coming out of the sky.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, take a look at this video.
So we all just got woken up to some disturbing sound all through the whole area. It was called 911, and they said they've gotten like over 50 calls about it.
You hear how loud that is? What is that? Here's another video from another part of Pace, Florida.
What is this noise?
Same sound.
What does that sound like to you?
Signal jam?
Residents have also reported seeing strange lights in the sky coming from the ocean right before dawn this past week. Only one news outlet reported the sounds in the sky and claimed it was a tripped steam line. So my question to you is, do you think that was a tripped steam line, or was something else lurking in the area? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Damn, Young Thug, who would've known that Thugger was out here snitching? In my mind, I'm just wondering, how is Young Thug gonna spin this scenario? What excuse is he gonna come up to what we all heard on this damn audio of him allegedly snitching? Y'all remember what he said? He don't fuck with rats. He called Gunna a rat. So now with this audio, is he gonna call himself a rat? Now I'm just wondering, is the industry gonna hold him to the same standard as everybody else they deem snitches? The same way they did Gunna? The same way they did 6ix9ine? I know he was telling, but still, a rat is a rat, right? Am I wrong? Am I tripping? Now, can you and Gunna rekindle y'all relationship? Y'all, listen to the audio.
This motherfucker money from New Orleans. I'm coming out. This in Atlanta, and I'm in New Orleans. I said, what the fuck? That was so weird. This fucker, they shot this to us. I don't know who the fuck they said Russell with me. I don't know if I ain't finna, I don't want to block. I don't want to like block y'all case by saying Russell ain't do that shit on Russell. Man, that man fucking sure. That fool. I'm like, you shot everybody, bro. But I don't fucking know because every day nigga broke fucking ball. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
So listening to that audio, what do y'all think? Let me know. Am I tripping? Was that snitching? Dry snitching? Any snitching? A little sprinkle of the seasoning? Let me know down below in the comments. How y'all feel about it?
You
Tell
have
me down
spare
below.
bedrooms in your house or apartment, you may soon be taxed extra for it. This is what lawmakers in Australia are proposing as a radical plan to address their housing and affordability crisis. Now, last week, during the country's economic reform roundtable, one of the several proposals that they made would work by disincentivizing or punishing people who have spare bedrooms. For example, if you are a family of 3 but you have 5 bedrooms, you would be taxed extra for those 2 additional bedrooms. And this is because Australia has a bit of a problem. They simply don't have enough homes, which has caused house prices to skyrocket, and since they consistently fall short of their annual target of building 240,000 new houses, they're now being forced to find ways of making space with the houses they've already got. But some people are outraged about this, saying that it's intrusive and that if they have empty bedrooms, it's for guests or storage. They argue that this is an infringement on privacy and freedom and that it's unfair to expense those who have retired. But what do you guys think? Is this going too far, or is it necessary to ensure everyone has a home?
I mean, that's kind of crazy, bro. You're getting taxed because you have some extra rooms in your house. Could you imagine getting a bed and be like, oh, because you have like 2 or 3 more extra rooms, man, you gotta get taxed on that? Nah.
People are leaving this museum with bruises, scratches, and nightmares, and one painting might be causing it. The Artemis Fractal, painted by Bill Stoneham, is considered to be one of the most haunted paintings in the world. Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventures added it to his museum thinking that this would be a cool exhibit, but visitors are now experiencing physical and emotional reactions that are impossible to ignore. Here's the wildest part about it though, nobody seems to understand why this painting is actually considered haunted. Paranormal experts think that it might be a psychic amplifier, and the painter said that the painting has a living energy. That means that it can reflect and magnify the emotional and spiritual energy of anyone who looks at it. People look at it and they report fear, sudden sadness, even physical bruising and scratches, like the painting is reacting to them directly. When people visit the museum, they report fainting, crying, having nightmares, or coming out with bruises and scratches. And this isn't just an isolated incident. In the same museum, there's a doll named Peggy, and she's notorious for having paranormal activity. I'm gonna make a video about her after this. But like having both of these objects in the same space makes it feel like something dark is spreading through the rooms. Would you be brave enough to visit this museum, or do you think that all of this is just a publicity stunt? Let me know and follow for more.
Nope.
This is why
I rebuke that negative energy
on your skin when something don't feel right. Okay? Or you hear the saying of your hair standing up on the back of your neck. What does an antenna do once it receives a frequency? It stands up right. All right? So the reason the hair stands up on your back of your neck when something doesn't feel right or seem right is because your skin is literally an antenna. Now, these frequencies that you emit out your skin goes out into the universe and begins to immediately reshape your environment around you based upon what it is that you have been thinking, based upon what it is that you have been sending to the... Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Based on what it is that you have been sending to your brain. How have you been programming your computer? All right, your brain is literally a computer, all right? And the reason why a lot of us black people and Latinos, which are the original gods, are walking around completely blind and lost right now is because we walking around without no goddamn GPS, no Wi-Fi, okay? If you don't have the neurochemistry in your brain set up to teach, set up to learn, set up to better yourself, then you're going to do whatever programming you're thinking at the time, okay? So basically, these images languages that your ancestors used when they taught. Once again, they're called hieroglyphics. All right. This is why they wrote those on those Egyptian pyramids. And then like even like that freaky weird pedophile shit that be going on, like you hear about it, but it's dark and demonic energy that this industry was built on. And people manipulate young women, they manipulate kids, and at the end of the day, it's all for the dollar and all to feed their ego. So I've seen some shit where you be like, that's just not right. Like that person shouldn't be talking to that person. That person shouldn't be in the room with that person alone. That person shouldn't, but on the other side, what I've also seen is some very innocent situations get turned into things that have nothing to do with the person or the position in power, but because it was manipulated from the other side, it made someone who was just trying to operate within the system look bad. I mean, like I said, like I've been part of lawsuits where I wasn't even in the same city, but because it was an event that I sponsored or it was a movie.
So I see everybody saying that they haven't seen the president for the last couple of days, and this shit is looking kind of weird. Now, the fact that J.D. Vance jumped on TV and said what he said, and we all heard what he said, that's another thing that makes this shit believable. And aside from the videos, I went down some rabbit holes. That Pentagon Pizza Index, they said they're at DEFCON 5 right now. And if you don't believe me, you could just Google Pentagon Pizza Index and it will come up. Go to the website and you'll see. Mind you, this is Labor Day weekend. We all know. The president loves to speak and we haven't heard from him. They have things going on for the Labor Day weekend and he's not a part of it. That's what they're saying. I'm gonna just say this. Whatever is going on right now, they've been getting us ready for this shit for the last couple of months. They've been making us look left when we should have been looking right the whole entire time. Telling us something is coming in the next couple of months and things of that nature. Trust and believe, whatever is going on, whatever is about to happen, they already knew what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna say this. Protect your peace by any means necessary, because things can get crazy real fast. I mean, just jump down the timeline. Them deploying the military in different states and things of that nature. None of this shit add up. So again, we're dealing with the masters of illusion. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm out.
The whole process of cloud seeding and weather manipulation can fully be weaponized. And that's what the conspiracy is that all these big countries like China trying to learn the technology of weather manipulation because you can't prove it's like no, it's just the weather.
It's just random. That's so sad. We didn't know. Okay, so I'm on the NOAA.gov site right now. They have a bar that says weather modification project reports, and in that it defines weather modification. So this is if you're doing weather modification, you are required to report these ways, which means they exist. These aren't theories. This is from .gov. I'll just start with the banger. Using lasers or other sources of electromagnetic radiation, releasing electrically charged or radioactive particles or ions into the atmosphere, releasing aerosols, gas, liquids, weather modification, and the one that I thought was really crazy is it says applying shockwaves, sonic energy sources, or other explosive or acoustic sources to the atmosphere. It's getting crazy how quickly we just move past things.
And I'm gonna so that's confirmed, bro. Weather manipulation is confirmed. That's crazy, man. That's on actually the .gov website. I wonder how many people even know that it exists.
Take you guys to one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive grocery store in the United States of America. So let's go check it out really quick.
Those prices looking like
a lot of just kind of small houses up on stilts because this is all tundra. The crazy part is it's only about 2:30 in the afternoon and it's almost dark out. There's a school bus in the village. All the kids are getting off school right now. And this is the Kupik Corporation, and this is also a grocery store right here. Let's go check it out.
They're hitting on, bro. What these prices hitting on, you gotta know.
As you guys can see, it is not cheap to live out in the village up here. Everything you get is extremely expensive. You do get paid more if you can find a job, but it costs a lot to live out here.
As soon as I saw those prices, I'd have been like,
there's the playground there. Here's the school right there. The career fair is happening in the gymnasium back here, so that's where we're heading right now. Well, guys, back in the hotel room. Morning, guys. We're heading south. Back to Anchorage. We're almost back home, and that was a very successful trip. That is the most amount of people I've ever had road tests in the village, and a lot of people have their licenses now, which is really cool. It really helped out a lot of folks.
Seekers, would you live out there, man? That's a no for me, man. Those prices, I can't deal with that, man. $22 for some damn, what was it, for some cranberry juice? Nah. We out.
I don't think people are grasping how serious this is. Half of the world just stopped shipping packages to the US. This is deeper than just getting your Sheen packages. That means medicine, parts to cars, materials that we need for warehouses to fully operate, things like your iPhone and many more. And now I'm hearing rumors that the store said the shelves could be empty because of this. And if y'all thought inflation was bad now, give it a couple weeks if this blockade does not stop. Them shelves gonna look real biblical, because what people don't understand is the majority of everything that's in the US is imported from another country. If y'all don't get no imports, that means that the shelves is empty. And if the shelves is empty, the little things that are on the shelves, the price goes up. Drastic inflation. Let's all pray that what they saying on the news is capped. Because if they stopping shipments to the US, it's about to get biblical. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments of what y'all think about them stopping all shipment crates to the US in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom. Stay tuned.
Did y'all know wind is actually the effect of a powerful energy source? When y'all see wind being blown and tornadoes and storms happening, do y'all really think that that's happening for no reason? Is it just a natural cause or a natural disaster? This video is definitely going out to the air sign. Yeah, these blinds is closed. When you look up the definition of wind, it's moving air, caused by uneven heating of the earth by the sun. I mean, just think about it. Every single time in anime, when a person powers up, wind is just going crazy around them. It's the literal effect of energy. When I was in middle school, I even asked my teacher, well, how does wind blow? Something kinetically has to be moving in order for it to take that effect. He actually told me that wind comes from the cold areas of the North Pole and the South Pole. But you know, that didn't never make sense to me. Wind is actual energy. That's why it's used for electricity. Every time Storm powers up, she has electricity walking around her. That's why lightning happens when it storms. And it all has to come from a source. Someone, something, some being has to be conducting a powerful energy in order for this wind to happen and this fan to blow. And they have figured out how to transfer that wind into the benefit of their electricity and energy. Because they know when these storms happen, that's these beings on the other side powering up. Wind is a physical effect of energy around us. You ever heard somebody say, I don't like the feel of this wind? Something's about to happen? Because they can feel the energy of the wind that something is about to happen. There's a lot more going on with these thunderstorms, wind, and lightning. So when you see wind blowing, something is conducting energy, especially on the other side. So y'all stay dangerous.
How many people remember going outside watching children play this game called hopscotch? It looked real innocent, right? What if I told you there is no innocence in none of these games we played when we was children? This was all a ritual to set us up later on in life for the Matrix. The elites gave us games like this, and they took away real spiritual meaning. Remember, the program starts when you are a child. We were supposed to be learning about the body, personality, soul, and spirit. But they replaced sacred knowledge and gave us boxes with numbers in it. This game was dealing with the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life. Remember, they tell you the truth because they had to, not because they want to. Karma is a real thing, and they can always say, we did tell them. Well, they told us in a demonic way. But this story go a little deep. Stay with me. I want people to pay close attention to the numbers they use for this game. It starts from 1 and end at 10. This is connected to the 1 and 0 matrix computer code. The reason why you can't see 0 in this game is because we represent the 0. The 1 and 0 represents life and death. This is also connected to another game we used to play called Tic-Tac-Toe. You have the 0 and the X. The Roman numeral for X is 10 or 10. It put us in a box since we was children. Go to school and sit down at your square desk and follow directions on the blackboard. By the way, please think outside of the box. This is the box they are speaking about. So many people believe that rituals just look like this. This is only one form. This is another form. Everything goes back to this planet Saturn, which is the black cube, or Cronus eating its own children. That's why the programs start when we are children. This system is eating us alive. We are no longer learning about spirituality, the soul, the cosmos, the universe, God, ether. We are not learning about nothing important no more. Our consciousness is now trapped in a cube. They took our spirits and made them numbers and trapped us in a box. Corporations, schools, religions, everything goes back to the cube. These people that control everything look at us like we are squares. By definition, a square is someone that don't understand what's going on. And last time I checked, we are the squares because we don't understand what's going on. It's something they understand that we don't understand. And it goes back to this. If they can program you when you are young, they can actually mold and shape the future. Keep trying to tell people that we are the squares that's locked away in a prison. We are not free. Only so much I can say about this topic.
Y'all, I seen the sky look bad before, but I have never ever seen it look like this. Tell me why everyone in Brisbane, Australia was seeing this across the sky, y'all. And I mean everybody. And people were saying it felt like something was... Yo, check this out, y'all. This is crazy.
I just want to show you the sky. I mean, talk about a grid. This is just crazy.
And then talk about how low the sky is, y'all. Look at the bird. The bird is literally eye level with the trees.
Well, look what we have again here in Brisbane. Look at these natural cloud forms. Wow, Mother Nature's amazing. Look at that.
I don't think that's natural, my guy.
Mother Nature at its finest.
Looking at the sky almost wants to give me claustrophobia. Are you guys picking up on this? Are y'all feeling the same way? Cause look how low it is.
Australia were some of the most beautiful I've ever seen. But what's going on right now? Like,
y'all, look how low the sky is again, y'all.
There's a start point right here. And it's just like a...
Y'all see the hole punch clouds? And then it's rippling throughout the whole sky.
Throughout the whole of Brisbane, going that way.
So what's going on here, y'all? I thought the higher ups were taking care of this. Why are we still seeing in our skies? Even looking over here, y'all, it's a cloudy, gloomy day. And I told you everyone was seeing this. So my question is, right? This looks to be, a little bit. So people in Brisbane, Australia, how y'all feeling? I want to know how you guys are feeling after all of this. Anyone else who has ever seen this in their skies, how do you guys feel the next day, y'all? Let me know down in the comments below. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
Lawyer of Jeffrey Epstein's best friend told him to stop talking or else.
This is regularly done.
Question.
Okay.
What the fuck is this? Bro, I'm gonna shake that tree. Giant ass squirrel. What?
Let me record.
Bro, I'm gonna shake
Go. Yeah. Hear that fucking squirrel.
What is that? Holy shit, that's fucking crazy. God damn it, that thing is huge. Okay, yeah.
That's actually crazy. Stop.
Alright, let's have a look. Excuse me, sir, what song are you listening to?
Sorry?
What song are you listening to?
I'm on a business call. I'm not listening to a song.
Fair enough. Okay, whoa! Right. Excuse me, what song are you listening to?
Playing Top 100 UK hits.
The man them too inconsiderate. Are you mad? Smoking cigarette, mixing codeine up with a Finnegan. She got
Are you AI? Are you AI?
Excuse me, miss. Hi, please.
Excuse me,
Oh my god.
My name is Joy.
Joy, the AI robot?
He's your creator.
Bro, this is mad, you know? Mad things. AI has gotten to another stage, you know what I'm saying?
Wait,
Bro.
are you gonna crash into me if I stand here? It's a robot! That's actually crazy. Stop.
Okay, we gotta go. That's mad.
He created you. He's your creator. He's your creator. Oh, that's the creator. It's him.
It's him. Are you the creator?
I am.
What's your name, though?
Calvin Scott.
You created her.
I did.
Why?
Why? For humanity. For the greater good.
What a nice species.
Wait.
It's like very admiring.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Did you, like...
Have you guys seen her before?
No.
Never.
Where's
she come from?
From
Italy. From Italy?
Yeah, never seen.
Well, out here in Italy, we've got no idea now.
I mean, it follows my commands, but ultimately it kind of moves and operates by itself.
Wait, can it do that? Can it score?
She looks like that.
I got them performing parkour, son. And before you sit there and say, oh, this is AI. No, it is not. This was a direct performance by China in front of people to show up, yes, we are advanced and our robots can do some sinuous type shit. This is the 1 year difference in performances. Look how much more advanced this shit is getting. Imagine these robots with some weapons, son. Like, this is crazy. We about to be replaced for real. Now I understand why people be like, okay, I get it, but like, slow down with the technology. What these niggas gonna do next? Like, fuck. They about to take over. Because if I was a robot, I'd be like, wait a second. Nigga, y'all are violent. What's y'all doing?
Yup.
I really want to thank you all for coming to my island. Time for our main and favorite entertainment. Welcome to my temple.
Oh, we out. What the? Deuces. What the? It's a whole tribe.
If you live anywhere on the East Coast in the United States, and you need to hear this. Meteorologists are saying that a nor'easter bomb cyclone is coming to the East Coast. We're talking about places like New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, Virginia. They're saying that this storm could bring between 6 and 12 inches of snow. They're also saying that conditions from this storm will affect up to 150 million people. Mind you, they're saying New York might get hit the worst. And New York just got hit with a whole lot of snow. It's almost 28 days after it snowed, and New York still has snow. New York still has cars that are locked in. And now they're saying that New York can get hit with 12 more inches of snow. Now they're saying in certain parts of this map right here, a lot of places might not get that snow. But there are some places that's definitely gonna get a lot of snow. And what does that mean? That means flights can be delayed. That means there's a possibility that there can be power outages. Meteorologists are saying prepare. They're saying make sure you have food. Make sure you have water. Make sure you have supplies just in case you get snowed in. Pay attention.
If you don't believe...
what's up with all this snow we get, man? I truly think, man, they had those weather machines working overtime, bro, to keep bombarding us with snow. This is the most snow I've seen we getting in a while, man. I was in the zone when it hit the first time, so they talk about the second one, bro. This north cyclone, man. It's no joke, bro. Turn off the weather machines.
Even aliens, can you please provide me a proper explanation as to how the Pyramid of Giza, the northern coordinates, are somehow the exact speed of light? Down to the 7th decimal is a little spooky. And I refuse to believe that humans were that smart on their own at the time. Especially 4,000 years ago without an iPhone. I could just Google these things, but I don't know. Anyways, this is my driver, and this is my Radmore fit. If you like it, you can shop their webpage, and I tagged them in the video. But I'm going to try and get this to go over that first marker. Everything is starting left today, so if I can open the face right and fix that, it would be epic.
Speed of light. Easy.
This interview with a cannibal went terribly wrong. This took place on an episode of Believer with Reza Aslan. He's a scholar in religious studies, and in his show he goes to different places and learns about different cultures. In this particular episode he went to India to study the Agori. The Agori is an infamous tribe that is known for eating for ritualistic and religious reasons. The Wild Boys went to see them like 20 years ago, and they also had like a really sketchy experience with the same guy. In this interview, Reza is forced to consume something that he did not want to consume. And afterward, a member of the tribe got very angry.
Okay. Maybe I'll take this off right now and then... Just thank you. Thank you. Why are people on that side of the river so afraid of the Agori? Why do just making a mistake? Just like somebody distracts him.
Yep.
You can be polite.
हे माता सती मुरादे पूरी कर हे माता मसान महाराज काली माँ काली नहीं पीते तो मुंह में तो लगा के देख लो बस
What's buddy? Oh no, we out.
Will he tell me now what I have to do?
So, so now he's being not polite with me and he knows. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, what?
Pretty sure that's not the Agori that I was looking for.
The crew was able to escape safely, but I want to know, what would you do in this situation? Also, hi, I'm Grace. Can I be your horror girlie?
My boy Mello was involved in a car crash, as you can see. That motherfucker totaled, cuz. Not just his whip, though. The Uber that he hit is totaled also. This happened around 5 o'clock in Charlotte. So in the video I'ma show, they say LaMelo was trying to hit a left when the Uber was going straight. So who's at fault? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Mello, right? Bow.
Damn. I heard they said Mello like terrorizing.
So after the crash, he got into another car and he drove away. Dude, the whole wheel is gone, bruh. He ain't injured though, so that's a good thing. They said the other driver got minor injuries, so he gonna be good too, but he probably about to get paid. Cause like I said, it looked like it's Mello's fault. It don't even look like he was hitting the left. I don't know what that man was doing. He probably was texting to some shit. I don't know. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
Bro, everybody on TikTok saying freaking LaMelo like terrorizing the streets, bro, when he be driving, man. There's like clips that was coming out of him pulling out, I guess, the arenas after he was done with the games, and people were like, bro, he cannot, yeah. I don't know, man. That's a wild situation, though. It still looked like he was trying to turn left, but I didn't see it.
Check this footage out here, y'all. So this was captured on a game trail camera. As you can see, this deer here was captured on camera. And you're going to see some more deer that was captured on camera. But the strange thing is, you're going to see this black figure start to emerge from the back. Just keep watching. You see this deer turns and look. These deer here are just looking around. But keep watching. Here it goes. Check it out.
I see it.
As you can see, he's right there and he walks over this way. He pans over that way.
Yep.
Check him out, you guys. This was recorded in the background. See that black figure? Looks like he's walking on 2 feet.
Vehicle confirmed.
And this was recorded on the game trail camera, you guys. Run it back one more time so you can see him. Check it out. Step 1, step 2. And he just cruises over. They're out there, you guys. Be careful.
No way did the US military just do a Maduro in Scotland.
2 people have been abducted from Scotland in the middle of the night. Our sovereignty has been violated, our courts have been defied, and a foreign military has abducted 2 people from our territory.
Yeah. So, earlier this month, a Russian-flagged oil tanker was seized as it was traveling through the waters between Iceland and Scotland. And in a late-night hearing on Monday, the court ruled that the ship's captain and the first officer must be kept in the UK under Scottish territorial jurisdiction. And this was actually at the request of the captain's wife, Natia, fearing that her husband could be abducted. However, the very next day, he disappeared. It was only after Scotland's prosecution office revealed that at about 3:04 a.m. they received an email from the US Justice Department informing them that they went on board and are now in possession of both the captain and first officer. Nice of them to email though. Now the Scottish Greens Party co-leader was furious, saying that the Scottish and UK governments need to respond to this, and even suggested evicting all US troops from where they're based in Prestwick Airport. Now the US have responded to these claims, saying that their arrest was lawful and that the men will now be brought to the United States to face prosecution in a US court. But what do you guys think? Should Scotland be pissed right now, or was this arrest fair game?
Michael Jackson built Neverland to actually protect the children from the Hollywood Satanists, to give them a safe place to go. I want you to listen to this right here.
I'll never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
So they're saying Neverland is where Michael Jackson took children to protect them from what was being done on Epstein's Island. Because he was going against their regime, they punished him and they flipped the script and made it appear as if he was the one abusing them.
Now this all starts to make sense once you look into the files and you realize Michael Jackson was never in the files. You have celebrities like Macaulay Culkin who came out and said that he was trying to protect the children. He defended Michael. And when you start to look in to what Michael was saying and how they were slandering him and how he would never do the things that the media was saying he was doing, you could see how genuine he was. You could see how much he loved children, how much he was trying to protect children. That's why he built Neverland. He knew what was going on in Hollywood. He was right beside all of it. He was seeing it with his own 2 eyes. So he was trying to protect them. And this is the 101 script, guys. When someone is trying to expose and protect what these elitists are doing, they will flip the script. They will slander that person. That way it takes the, image off of them, and they can continue doing what they were doing. It was the opposite. Neverland Ranch was the opposite of what they said it was. He was trying to protect the children this whole time. Now, Michael's been gone for a long time now, but one thing that I've always realized in this journey is the truth always comes to light at some point, and people are waking up to this truth, to realize that this guy was a legend. He was trying to protect all these children, save them, built this ranch with his own money, took his time to save the children. So we need to pay him our respects. We need to pay him our apologies for anyone that thinks anything else, because he was a legend and a king. Peace and love.
Y'all really got me fucked up now. What?
This 32-year-old Japanese woman, let's stop there. Ain't y'all supposed to be one of the smartest niggas out here? You so smart, you want to marry intelligence. What the Everybody say, oh, God made Adam and Eve. He damn sure ain't make Eve in bot 361. Then look at her little dumb ass right there. Looking like somebody off Dragon Ball Z. The power is too strong. Ain't no way. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about all the shit that's going on in the world. Y'all be worried about the wrong shit. And look at her. Propped up with her goddamn cell phone. Fuck. We doomed. If this what some of the smartest niggas in the world doing, we doomed. We are doomed. It's a motherfucking Black Mirror episode. And I would tell God, but he see this. He see all this. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna tell him, matter of fact.
1945. In 2026, man, we got people, man, they're thinking AIs, bro. We're officially cooked, man. She was spitting, bro. And like I said, when she get made with the damn, like, freaking DBZ scouter, bro, it's power level over 9,000 header. Like, what the heck was that, bro? And people really need to go touch some grass, bro. Find an actual connection.
Here in the Empire State Building, there was an accident where the elevator snapped and the woman inside plunged down 1,000 feet, 75 stories, and survived.
And this is how the elevator shaft looks like. Well, yeah, exactly. They broke the cable where she was on 78, and she went all the way down. She goes against will broke the records for the longest elevator fall. And luckily she did survive. And she lived a very long life. So that is so impressive. So imagine falling right through here. But luckily that's not going to happen. It's a very safe building now.
Nowadays it takes less than 1 minute to reach the 86th floor, and then you can go all the way up to the 102nd floor through the crown of the Empire State Building with these views. Stay curious, my friends.
Also found Jeffrey Epstein's Minecraft account. What? Yeah, they found that he was actually a Minecraft YouTuber. It's always the Minecraft YouTubers that are doing this, eh? I did not know about that. They found an email in the files from YouTube. Yeah. It's replying about a comment that he commented on a Markiplier video. What? Yeah, so they looked at the channel. Channel's called Guns A-Blazing 7378. What makes it so sus is his Minecraft videos, he didn't actually use a voiceover or narration or anything. Okay. But the Minecraft skin Gavin is very Jeffrey Epstein. And it's very sick. Look, it is. No. And look how it's dressed. Oh no. Yeah, bro. What the? Messed up. Yeah, I thought I knew about the Fortnite, but I'm like, Minecraft too?
Insane, bro. I didn't know he was on Minecraft too.
That's why civilization falls apart. Pay attention to the signs. The sun is getting closer. Time is moving faster. We are taught to pay attention to these things. A major shift is happening right now, and people don't have a clue. You're more worried about which celebrity is getting married or divorced. There are no celebrities in my time. No movies at all. Entertainment, as you know it, is gone.
Now remember, I told you guys that symbolism is going to be their downfall. Now, mind you, my city, Evansville, Indiana, was mentioned in the Epstein files about 25 times. Now you can see the symbol right behind me, and what does that look like? That looks like the boy lover symbol. Now, when you go around the corner, there's also a Freemasonic building. Now, this is the Freemasonic building around the corner. Now, I always thought something was weird about the city because every Democratic president that we ever had always came to visit Evansville mysteriously. Because the democracy in itself is the personification of the deep state shadow government, who is known for human trafficking, drug trafficking, that's interconnected with the Vatican. Because like I said, symbolism is going to be their downfall. Another thing that you got to understand about Evansville, Indiana, this is a Freemasonic city. So there's an accumulation of sellout pastors and sellout politicians. And mind you, Evansville is in the middle of everything. So this is a hub for trafficking. And like I said, every Democratic president that we ever had came to visit this city mysteriously.
Really?
And I went to many different homeless shelters to hand out free books of my own publication, and they rejected the publication and said it was too much propaganda, and they said it was too radical. It was almost to the point where they want to keep the homeless people in the city in a degraded state to the point where they're able to be trafficked. So that's why it's imperative to understand what's taking place in your city. That's what everybody should be doing. Stop worrying about the world. Worry about your hometown and find out what the fuck is going on.
Jared?
Greetings, your tinseliness, imperious leader of Hollywood.
Question. Are the Illuminati real? And if so, why haven't I been invited? Garfield, where are you? I know you know. I know you know. Now, for those of you experienced...
Yeah, I was like, and then, I don't know if you've had this, but I've had people throw millions of dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And, like, just, you've been up here. Oh, they're in the room.
Yeah. That was my way of showing you, like, it's open time.
Yeah, you want me to keep talking about it?
By all means, let's keep talking about it.
But don't do it.
No, of course.
Giants are real. Wow. And this footage made a lot of people uncomfortable. During a live interview, Mr. Yeshing noticed two figures sitting in the audience. He stopped mid-sentence and asked them to come up on stage. The moment they stood up, you could tell something wasn't normal. These weren't just tall people, they were estimated to be 10 to 13 feet tall. Later, Yeshing said, "This is the tallest person I've ever seen." And here's why he couldn't let it go. If there had only been one, it could have been a medical anomaly. But there were two, same build, same proportions. That's when he realized this might not be an exception. It might be a group, because sightings like this have been reported around the world, different places, same legends. So maybe the question isn't whether giants exist, it's how long they've been standing right in front of us.
Y'all all fake for not telling me this map existed. It's been around since 2018 and I just found it last night. This map is like my brain on a piece of paper. You don't understand how crucial this is. Again, y'all fake for not telling me this existed. We're going to do a full deep dive on this map because there's a lot to it, okay? I'll zoom in for you. We're going to start right here with the solar flash, the great solar flash, because everything kind of centers around it, and then we're going to move on to the rest of the map, but we can't do it on this app because I'm on an account warning, and I'm afraid that if I slip up, fuck up, they're going to take this account from me, and I'll lose all of you, okay? So we're going to do it on the tube. So please, if you would, if you have been with me for a long time, you know that the April 8th, 2024 Great Eclipse was a pivotal moment in my content creation career, if you can call it that, okay? It changed my life, no shit. I think it changed everything else too, but we're going to talk about that over on the tube.
Look at this shit, y'all. Y'all know who that is? Y'all know who that is? Even Stevens? What? That's Shia LaBeouf, y'all. They caught this man at 1 a.m. in a bar in Albuquerque town. And this man, he looks like he's in a hole. What is going on here? He really look like Stanley Yelnats now, bro. Are you kidding me? Look at this. What did Hollywood do to these people? They look like they hit rock bottom. And again, man, I'm not saying he probably has a lot of money, but we already know money do not buy happiness. He looks like he's really going through something. Wasn't he a Disney star? Man, y'all seen how all of these children network have been on the Epstein files now? Except for Cartoon Network, right? So he started as a Disney star. And what we've seen from the Epstein files, what do you think he's seen? What do you think he's seen? Do you think he's reflecting on all the truth that's about to come to the light, y'all? I'm telling y'all. Yeah, y'all, Stanley, I mean, Shyla looks like he is in another dimension, literally, man. And now with Hollywood shutting down, man, we're probably about to see a lot more of this, man. That's probably why we're seeing all these celebrities on TikTok now. But yeah, y'all, the age of Aquarius, the shit is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's get it.
That can save a life are one. If your house smells like fish for absolutely no reason, there may be an electric fire. If someone tries to kidnap you, scratch your attacker because now their DNA will be in your fingernails. If you ever find yourself buried in an avalanche, just spit. Your spit will follow gravity and you could dig the opposite direction. Wake up in the middle of the night to the smell of gas, do not turn your light switch on, it could blow up your whole house. If you accidentally disturb a beehive, do not go underwater, they will just wait for you and sting you more. Run as far away as possible, and they will eventually tire out. The more colorful and vivid the animal, the more likely it's poisonous. Your pupil reflects white, like right here, you need to go see a doctor. Something's wrong with your eye. If a tornado looks like it's not moving, it's because it's moving towards you. Follow for more life-saving facts.
These are the most bone-chilling photos on the internet, part 1. This is a picture of a shell-shocked soldier in World War I. This photo is just super chilling, and it really makes you understand how horrible and scary a war is on a soldier. This photo is super sad and chilling. It shows the shadowy imprints of a little girl jumping right before the atomic bomb got dropped on Hiroshima. This little girl was just enjoying her day without a worry in the world, and then suddenly it's just all gone. This photo right here is super creepy. It looks like some sort of torture method, but actually it's a beauty procedure in the 1930s and 40s. I don't know what's more creepy, the fact that they actually did this to people, or just how weird and chilling it actually looks.
I don't know what that was.
Most heavily protected places on the planet, part 10. The DMZ Korea, which is the border that separates North and South Korea. The area is fortified on both sides by barbed wire, razor wire, and electric fences. Tens of thousands of landmines are placed everywhere. The area is patrolled with hundreds of thousands of soldiers equipped with tanks. In addition, there are watchtowers and positioning posts placed every few miles equipped with surveillance systems. In the absence of human contact, has actually created a nature reserve for endangered species.
Really?
You are the only person alive on Earth right now. It's called the egg theory, and what I'm about to tell you will blow your mind. So the theory goes that you are actually the only person alive right now. The only consciousness that actually exists. Everyone else is just a figment of your imagination. Your family, friends, strangers you meet on the street, all because your mind doesn't want to feel alone. But this is the scary part about this theory. Since you are the only true consciousness, you'll live every possible life there is and ever will be. So you'll be reincarnated and reborn billions and billions of times until you lived every single individual's life. And then you'll be able to hatch this egg and become a god. That's the theory. You see, the theory goes that the entire universe was created as an egg for the main character, which is you. And once you have lived every human life ever, you will be born as a god. The reason God created the universe was for the main character to understand this point. Every time you victimize someone, you were victimizing yourself. So be kind to people, and you're being kind to yourself. And no lie, it sounds horrible, but you wouldn't know if you lived billions of lives already. You probably already lived over a billion, and you just don't remember it. You probably lived your mom's life, your cousin, the stranger across the street, the blind man you walked past sitting on a bench today. So in actuality, you're me, and I'm you. You're the person in the hospital right now with an unknown disease, or the lady at the store right now buying apples. So every single person you know and ever will know was you.
You guys believe in that theory, Seekers? The egg theory. Sounds like a deep rabbit hole to go down. Reincarnation?
Bizarre facts that'll blow your mind. A bolt of lightning can reach up to 53,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Researchers found by flossing your teeth, you're actually helping to improve your memory. Jack Daniel, the inventor of Jack Daniel's whiskey, died from kicking a safe with his foot. This caused his toe to break, which ended up getting infected, which ultimately led to his death. And finally, Dwayne Johnson holds the world record for the most selfies taken in 3 minutes with 105.
Really?
Here are the strangest things that were found in the middle of nowhere. Back in 2014, 2 German friends were walking through a forest that they used to play in as kids, when suddenly they noticed 2 pipes sticking out of the ground. They continued to walk until they stumbled upon a hidden doorway that went underground. They entered the creepy corridors until they stumbled into a room that was flooded and had a weird-looking machine. That's when they realized they were in an abandoned control bunker that was used by the Soviets during the Cold War. Next, in 2016, a group was flying in a helicopter over the forests of West Russia, and they spotted another helicopter that was abandoned in a swamp. This turned out to be an Mi-6 model that originated in 1956, and it was the largest and fastest helicopter at the time. It was revealed that the helicopter had been there since 1981, when it traveled from Moscow and it crashed because of engine failure. But thankfully, the crew of it did live to tell the tale. And finally, on Route 90 in Texas, you can find a Prada store that's surrounded by nothing but desert. This was actually art that was made back in 2005 and cost $120,000.
$100,000 to make. Inside the store, there's even real products from their 2005 product collection. But unfortunately, the doors aren't real, so you can't actually buy them.
Your son went missing at a carnival, but your story keeps changing. This is one of the most twisty-turny cases I've ever covered on the pod. So picture the scene. It's 1991 in New Jersey at a carnival, and a 5-year-old boy just totally vanishes. He's just suddenly gone without a trace. It's so disturbing. Everybody's super suspicious of the mum right off the bat because it feels like her story doesn't make sense, and she is getting absolutely hounded by the press and by the public. And she ends up saying publicly, "Do not judge me for the fact that I'm not going on TV crying. That's just not the way that I deal with things." Months and months go on with absolutely no sign of this little boy, and the mum actually ends up moving house because of how much she's hounded at her current property. Some people are suspicious of the dad. Some people are like, well, did the dad have something to do with it? And so the police look into him too. Then, heartbreakingly, we find a body in this case, and then a random, mysterious, exotic dancer enters the mix that was apparently at this carnival. But before the police can work out what the hell this exotic dancer has got to do with anything, there's another disappearance, but this time it's the mum, and she's been kidnapped. All I'm saying is you're gonna need to buckle up for this episode if you need company while you're cleaning the house, or if you've got a long commute. Lock into this podcast episode because I'm absolutely exhausted.
Cannibal facts that'll eat at you for days. If you thought Jeffrey Dahmer was picky for not eating people with tattoos, Venezuelan serial killer Dorangel Vargas, who ate 10 people, didn't like his victims to be overweight because he thought that they contained too much cholesterol. On Thanksgiving Day 1991, 23-year-old Omaima Nelson stabbed her sugar daddy William before carving him up and cooking his head in a deep fryer and eating him for dinner. In the 1970s, Jorge Nevermonte, also known as the Brazilian Sweeney Todd, would bake his victims into pies before selling them to local townsfolk. After murdering and eating his classmate in 1981, Issei Sagawa was released from prison because of a loophole in Japanese law. Since then, he's actually profited off the crime, writing books, appearing on talk shows, and starring in adult films where he bites his fellow co-stars. In 2001, a man named Armin Maiwis posted an ad on a website called Cannibal Cafe looking for someone to be killed and eaten. A German engineer named Bernd Brandis volunteered, and Armin was sent to jail, where today he's a vegetarian. In 1904, a Swedish sailor named Carl Pettersson shipwrecked on an island inhabited by cannibals. He was captured and taken to a local king whose daughter actually fell in love with him. The two then got married, had 9 kids, and Carl became the new king.
Do you know how things have to line up for that to happen? You get stuck on a stranded island, surrounded by cannibals, and you fall in love with the daughter, you become king. That sounds like a whole movie plot.
You will not sleep after hearing this spine-chilling fact. This is a fat fucking goldfish.
These are people with real-life superpowers, part 2. Daniel Kish lost his eyesight from retinoblastoma before he even turned 1, but he didn't give up and developed a form of echolocation to help him navigate his surroundings, making him the real-life Daredevil. His bat-like technique, where he uses clicking sounds, has also earned him the name the real-life Batman. He trained his brain to differentiate the difference in echoes created by his clicks, allowing him to move around even in crowds. This family in Connecticut has unbreakable bones. The unnamed family has been found to have extremely dense bones, which means they've never had any fractures. When scientists tested out 20 different people from the same family, they found around half of them had extremely dense bones. Scientists think that by studying this family, we can treat many more bone-related issues. And back in 1972, Veronica Sider claimed to see objects that were a mile away. When no one believed her, she was tested. And turns out, she was not able to just see things that far. She could also differentiate between colors, shapes, distance, and position. She was then put in the Guinness World Records as her vision is 20 times more powerful than any other normal human being.
My intuition and listening to my gut feeling saved my life, and this is what happened.
This story gives me chills because had this girl made a different choice on this night, she wouldn't be here telling this story. Alexandra was in high school when her and her friend decided to go out one night and play Pokemon Go. They drove through Central Oregon Community College, which wasn't too far from Alexandra's house, and were notified that there were Pokemons in that area. As they drove through campus, they noticed lights in their rearview mirror, so they pulled over to the side, and it was the campus security guard. A man dressed in a security outfit came to their window and asked them what they were doing, and Alexander responds that they're just playing Pokemon Go. He tells them that the campus has a curfew and no one's allowed to drive through after 10 p.m. He then proceeds to tell them that he heard that there's a really good Pokemon to catch by the gym and that he was willing to take them there. That's when Alexandra had this weird feeling in her stomach. She told him she'll just come back another day to check it out. The security guard did not take no for an answer and told them that it would only take 5 minutes, but that they had to get out of the car because there was no way of driving to that location. Mind you, at this point it was past 10 p.m. Alexandra said she immediately got chills down her spine, but after repeatedly saying no to him, they were eventually able to leave and go home. When she got home, she could not stop thinking about the entire interaction and how weird it was. So she told her mom, guys, it wasn't even a week later, Alexandra turned on the news and turns out a girl was murdered on the same campus. And guess whose photo was shown as the prime suspect? Yep. The campus security guard. And you guys want to know what's super chilling? The murder victim, Kaylee Sawyer, she looked almost identical to Alexandra. The security guard, Edwin Lara, was on the run, but was eventually found and arrested after kidnapping another girl. And it turns out that this was all premeditated, and he was actively looking for a young blonde girl to murder. Now, the case of Kaylee Sawyer is an entire separate story, which has plenty of coverage, but she was walking through campus one night to cool off after a fight with her boyfriend, and that's when Edwin saw her.
Life advice that can save your life one day. If you're trapped underwater and can't tell which way's up, blow out air bubbles and they will always float upwards. If you think someone is in your house, don't turn the lights on. Although it may add comfort, you know your house a lot better than the intruder, so it will be easier for you to navigate an escape route than it will be for the intruder to find you. If you are choking and there's no one around, you can perform the Heimlich maneuver on yourself. Just make a fist and push upwards quickly on the space between your rib cage and your belly button.
There's a lot of misinformation literally everywhere, so I'm here to clear some things up for you guys. All that extra air in your chip bag isn't just chip companies saying fuck you. The air protects the chips from breaking, and a lot of it's nitrogen to keep it from going stale. Dinosaurs aren't extinct. There is zero genetic reason not to classify birds as dinosaurs, because that's what they are. Birds are dinosaurs. You know, man, we only use like 10% of our brains, and you know Einstein, man, he probably used like 12%. Shut the fuck up, that is so wrong. We use all of our brains, we just use different parts at different times. And it's actually pretty common to use 100% of your brain at the same time. It's called having a fucking seizure.
What?
This is part 43 of some of the worst submechanophobia things I've ever seen in my life. When I tell you this is the worst thing I've ever seen, I'm not joking. When I tell you that this is the scariest thing on this entire list that I've ever seen, I'm not joking. I am mostly desensitized to everything else that I have shown you in this list, but this thing haunts my freaking nightmares. So as y'all have seen in previous videos of mine, I have a huge phobia of orcas. I saw this in a video in a compilation one time and I reacted to it for YouTube and I screamed at the top of my lungs. If you want to look on my YouTube, you can. It starts off completely submerged and then it pops out of the water. It is a fake orca with a seal in its mouth. You go through, it's kind of like a dark ride. You go through, you look through the window, and it is massive, life-size orca that pops out. Also, it's abandoned. So it was actually removed in 2012, or at least people thought so. But look at this. It's still visible through the wall. Look at that. And here's what it looks like. Visible through the wall.
Fade it.
This photo makes my stomach drop to the pit of my butt and out. I can't be the only one horrified of this. I just can't be. Watch this. Watch this. Does this scare you?
Submechanophobia. Nah, I've never had that. It's like emerging out of the water. I'm scared of orcas though. Never seen one live. Okay, yeah, now imagine that just popped out of nowhere. You had no idea. Got like a, is that a seal in his mouth?
These are the top 5 scariest things to run into in the deep sea, in my opinion. Number 5, sperm whale. Sometimes I forget that the biggest predator on the planet catches bodies in complete darkness where nobody can see it. Believe it or not, I actually love whales. But it's Thalassophobia 5 the day a 50-foot homicidal submarine spawns out of nowhere. Number 4, sea spiders. Technically, they're not even real spiders. Realistically, you don't beat those kind of allegations when you cosplay as a face hugger. Not to mention they eat by injecting and sucking the life force out of their prey until there's nothing left, like whoever Zion Williamson is dating. Oh, also their organs are in their legs, because of course they are. Number 3, worms. Of any kind. For example, the 10-foot bobbit worm who was named after a woman who de-petered her husband, or the bootlace worm, which can be over 150 feet and looks like it was pulled out of Venom's bowels.
Yeah.
The longest one was 180. Number 2, giant squid, and for one main reason, and you're looking at it. You see, they get hunted by sperm whales, and when the whales are down there, they disturb bioluminescent animals, which causes lights to flash around them, and squids can use those lights to figure out where the sperm whale is in relation to it. But the thing is, they can use that exact same logic to figure out where you are. So if a giant 40-foot squid pulls up on you, that means it saw you way before you saw him. And worse, that means it actively didn't have a reason to hide from you. And that's not a good thing. But number 1, and this might be a surprise, the Humboldt squid. Because they've actually been known to attack people. One diver got mauled by a Humboldt and nearly lost his hand. Another diver got attacked by the red spawn of Satan, and she swore that the squid tried to remove her face mask and drown her. But the worst part of it all, they've been known to hunt in groups of up to and over 1,000. And they're the only animal here with the intelligence and intent to try to murk a human. The more you know. Sometimes I wish I didn't.
These are video
Those
games.
squid were trying to take you out.
Half-Life was a first-person shooter released in 1998. It's about a physicist defending the human race from alien beasts. It was called a masterpiece when it was released, except if you lived in Germany. You see, Germany has some of the strictest censorship laws in the world. So in order for the game to sell, they needed to cut down on the violence and bloodshed. So they turned the human enemies into robots, and if you were to shoot at an NPC, they would sit on the ground and shake their heads. While everywhere else in the world, you could physically harm them. Next, the game Shadow the Hedgehog is known by many to be the beginning of the downfall of the Sonic franchise. They took one of the most well-written characters and decided to make him edgy by giving him a gun and having him curse. Believe it or not, Sega wanted to go further with this edginess by originally giving the game a T for teen rating with more violence, more swearing, and we would have seen Shadow's friend Maria get unalived. However, this was changed at the last minute, and the rating then became E for 10+. And lastly, the Mortal Kombat games are known for being insanely violent, which means it's been edited, censored, and banned throughout its 30-year existence. The original game was censored on every platform it came out on, and of course, Germany banned it entirely. And Mortal Kombat 11 was banned in Japan, as well as Ukraine and Indonesia, because of a pre-order skin that showed communist symbols. These are things that are bigger than you think, part 2. This is the world's largest turtle, and when compared to a normal turtle, you can see just how big it actually is. Now, centipedes that we find today are quite small, but in ancient times, giant centipedes like this roamed the earth. Now, we all know how big the Earth is, but 1,300 Earths can fit in Jupiter, and our Sun can easily fit 1,000 Jupiters. But that's nothing compared to VY Canis Majoris. This is a red supermassive star that would take 3 to 9 billion suns to fit. And even this is nothing compared to UY Scuti, which is the largest known non-black hole object in the universe. And this is what that hypergiant star looks like compared to the biggest discovered black hole, TON 618.
Serial killer facts that will haunt your nightmares. Part 4. Researchers used AI deepfake technology to compile the faces of every serial killer into one man. Dude looks like a psychopath. If you look anything like that, you're probably a serial killer. Serial killer Ed Kemper was friends with the police officers who were investigating his murders. They all hung out at a bar together called the Jury Room. His nickname was Big Ed, and when he confessed to them, they thought it was a joke. Jeffrey Dahmer once made a drink laced with sleeping pills for a guest, but accidentally drank it himself. He later woke up to find that his soon-to-be victim had robbed him while he was sleeping. In 1906, a Moroccan murderer was sentenced to be walled up alive after he was found guilty of killing 36 women. His cries for help were heard for 2 days straight before he went silent.
Eric.
In the summer of 2021, 15-year-old Ivan Peteshnik was brutally murdered by one of his close friends. This is his story. On May 26, 2021, Ivan was invited over to his friend's house in Taylorsville, Utah. His friend was 17-year-old Rowdy Aguilar, and the two were reportedly really close, having grown up together. That morning at around 10 a.m., the two were seen entering Rowdy's house on the home security footage. A few hours later, Rowdy was seen leaving the house by himself, carrying a black garbage bag into the field behind his house. Not long after, Rowdy's dad was looking for him inside of a utility trailer on his property when he discovered Ivan's dismembered body and called 911. After searching the property and the field behind Rowdy's house, authorities discovered multiple garbage bags filled with Ivan's dismembered body parts. And after searching Rowdy's bedroom, they found a bloody t-shirt and knife. According to the police, the home also smelled really strongly of cleaning agents. Rowdy was then taken in for questioning, where he initially denied even knowing Ivan, despite the fact that they grew up together. His hands were covered in scratches, and when asked about that, he told authorities that the wounds came from cutting ribs for a barbecue. Rowdy told authorities that he was with his girlfriend the day of the murder, but after police found more of his clothing covered in blood, he confessed to killing Ivan. According to the medical examiner, Ivan was stabbed 26 times in the head, with one final wound to his neck before being dismembered. Rowdy was arrested and has since been charged as an adult with aggravated murder, desecration of a human body, and a few other charges. The trial has yet to take place, and there's still no motive or explanation as to why Rowdy did this to one of his best friends. But according to Ivan's sister, Rowdy told prosecutors that he didn't believe Ivan was human. Ivan was described as having the biggest, most loving heart and was a gentle giant. The 2 years prior to his death, Ivan lost both his mom and his dad to cancer and a heart attack, and as a 15-year-old, that's incredibly hard to go through. He was looking forward to being in high school and playing football and getting a job and just doing kid things. I wanted to include this short clip of Ivan before he died with his grandpa that showed just how caring of a person he was.
I got you. Okay? Good. Oh my gosh. Not when she fall, I promise that.
She starved her disabled adult daughter to death. 24-year-old Debbie Leach was a disabled woman with Down syndrome, and she lived with and was cared for by her mother, Elaine Clark. 2019, Elaine threw a birthday party for her son, and she told family members that Debbie was in her room and didn't want to speak to anybody. Those family members didn't listen and still went to Debbie's room, and once they opened the door, they were hit with the most disgusting smell. When they looked inside, they saw dirty underwear and rotting food all over the place. Debbie was just lying on dirty bed sheets, calling out to her mother, crying in pain. Debbie's skin was sore, itchy, and covered in scabs. After seeing this, Sammy, who was Debbie's cousin, told Elaine that if she didn't do something, that Debbie was going to die. Elaine just ignored their concerns and told them that Debbie was fine. As soon as Sammy and her mother left the home, they made a report to social services, and once that report was made, Debbie's doctor was going to visit Debbie because of it. In preparation for that visit, Elaine took Debbie a shower. She put her in an oversized hoodie and took her downstairs away from the bedroom. Once Debbie's doctor arrived, he spoke with Elaine, and she spoke for Debbie the whole time. Elaine told the doctor that she didn't know what her family was talking about and that Debbie was incontinent, so that maybe she did dirty her underwear, but she would always change her in a timely manner, and that Debbie was happy, clean, and healthy. At the time, the doctor told Elaine that Debbie's skin looked dry and inflamed, but didn't have any concerns about her and would check in on her in about 2 weeks. A few days after that, a social services worker wanted to check in on Debbie. When they arrived at the home, one of Debbie's sisters opened the door, and she told the workers that they couldn't come in because Elaine wasn't home, so the sister was the one watching Debbie, which actually wasn't allowed. Debbie was never supposed to be in the care of a sibling, but since the worker couldn't go in, they just left. Later that day, Elaine called social services back and told them that Debbie was perfectly fine, but they still wanted to have a meeting. So the day that they had scheduled, Elaine put Debbie in the shower, cleaned her room up, and put her in oversized clothes. Once that worker arrived, they looked at Debbie, and she looked very underweight and skinny, but she was clean, so that was good enough for them. That social worker didn't appear to be alarmed for any reason, so they decided they were going to come back in 2 weeks to check in on Debbie, but Debbie was suffering in silence. August 29th of 2019, a 999 call was made to operators by Elaine telling them that her daughter had been sick for the past couple of days. She told them that Debbie wouldn't eat or drink and she had now passed away. The operator told Elaine to go to her daughter to see if she could resuscitate her to save her life, but she told the operator that Debbie was cold to the touch. When first responders arrived to the home, they went to Debbie's room and they found feces all over the floor and in her bed. Debbie's body was found lying in what they say an unnatural position in the middle of the floor, and there was maggots all over her body. Her face was completely encrusted in scabs, and her clothes were dirty and smelly. In fact, her skin was such in a bad condition that her face was unrecognizable, and if they didn't really know who this was, it would have been hard to tell that she was a female. It was clear to investigators that Debbie was neglected, and her body was sent for an autopsy. It was revealed at the time of Debbie's death she only weighed 52 pounds, and her mother neglected her for months. Blaine was arrested and sentenced to 9 years and 7 months in prison, and will only have to serve up to 2/3 of her sentence before being considered to be released.
4. This is a maned wolf. It's one of the rarest animals in the world, and it's pretty terrifying. This is Vanta Black. It's the darkest material in the world and can make 3D objects look like 2D ones. This is one of the rarest and most terrifying parasites in the world. This evil parasite steals the fish's tongue and then takes its place. I never knew these existed. This is a brick road laying machine. If you look closely, you'll realize that this isn't 4 different pictures. This is one single picture. This is insane. This airport has a road going through it. And this is actually more colors than you've ever seen in your life. This is exactly 1 million colors.
How? That last one cap.
If you have one of these in your home, then you need to know this new chilling theory. TikTokers have claimed these new viral furry Labubus carry demonic energy, rumoured to be inspired by the demon Pazuzu. But Pop Mart insists they're based on a children's book. Labubu owners have now taken to blessing their dolls with holy water to banish any evil the new toys may hold.
This truck driver...
I've been seeing those little boo-boo dolls. They've been going viral recently. Any of the seekers got them? Any of those claims are true?
took the life of 5 people because he was distracted on TikTok. On the morning of January 12, 2023, 36-year-old Danny Tyner was driving on Interstate 10 in Arizona when he drove his tractor trailer into stopped traffic. This scene is so difficult to look at, but basically his truck sandwiched 2 other cars with another big truck at the front. These are the 5 victims that lost their lives on that day, and when Danny was asked what happened, he said that he looked down for a couple of seconds because he got a notification on his work tablet, and when he looked back up, there was not enough time to brake. But that wasn't true. When his phone was analyzed, it showed that he was actively using TikTok when the crash happened. Now, what I found disturbing was that during his interaction with police, he didn't seem too fazed. He was eventually charged with manslaughter and was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for each count of negligent homicide, which totaled to 22.5 years.
Don't use your phone when you're driving, man. Especially TikTok. You're just scrolling.
3 incredible historic photos that 99% of people don't know about. Number 3. A boy fell into a zoo enclosure and a gorilla took care of him. This snapshot was taken in 1996 and featured Binti Jua, an 8-year-old western lowland female gorilla. Although gorillas are generally regarded as dangerous creatures, when a 3-year-old boy fell into her enclosure, Binti Jua took care of the child. Astonishingly, the child had managed to climb and fall 23 feet into the gorilla's habitat. Number 2. Stray dogs protected and nourished this abandoned baby. I like to believe that the 3 street dogs in this photo appear to be smiling at the camera. This snapshot, taken in 1996, shows a newborn girl who had been abandoned in a trash bin near Kolkata, India. These 3 friendly dogs came across the baby and took care of her for about 2 days. The 4-legged friends even tried to feed the newborn. Number 1. A Native American Olympian has his shoes stolen just before his race. In the photo, we see Native American athlete Jim Thorpe in 1912. Someone had just stolen his running shoes right before his Olympic track and field events. Instead of letting this unfair play deter him, he rummaged through trash bins and found a pair of mismatched shoes, which we see in the photo. This did not prevent him from winning 2 Olympic gold medals on the same day.
1 in a Million, Part 7. On the right is the facial reconstruction of a 9,000-year-old skeleton that was found in a cave in Cheddar, England. His DNA was tested, and researchers found that a living relative was teaching history class only a half-mile away from the site, linking back 300 generations. Out of the 40,000 windows within the Twin Towers, only 1 of them survived 9/11. It's believed to have come from the 82nd floor of the South Tower, one of the 9 floors that was struck by the second plane. The first person to die during the construction of the Hoover Dam was surveyor J.G. Tierney on December 20th, 1922. On the same exact day, 14 years later, the last person died. It was J.G.'s son, Patrick Tierney. Uncombable hair syndrome is an extremely rare condition that literally makes the hair impossible to comb. It currently affects less than 100 people across the globe. A married couple from China discovered that they were in the same photograph as teenagers more than a decade before they even met. On July 4th, 1826, President John Adams' last words before dying were, "Thomas Jefferson survives." But little did he know, President Jefferson had died just hours earlier that same exact day. Not to mention it was exactly 50 years after the Declaration of Independence was passed.
That was eerie.
Horses are much bigger than people, so naturally they just have a lot more blood than we do. So whenever horses get nosebleeds, it ends up looking like a whole crime scene. So one of the only reasons we know how many people died in the Titanic are the shoes that are laying on the ocean floor. Some are pretty cool, others are kind of depressing. And the reason we count the shoes instead of, bones is because when the Titanic hit the floor, all the corpses kind of just scattered and the fish ate the corpses, but the fish couldn't eat the shoes. If you ever decide to go climb Mount Everest, I hope that you remember that the crevices in the ice are V-shaped, which means if you were to ever accidentally fall down one, you more than likely wouldn't die instantly. Your body heat would melt the ice around you, causing you to slip further and further down until your chest couldn't expand enough to breathe. So make sure you bring a friend just as crazy as you to help get you out.
I ain't never going to Mount Everest. Cross that off the list.
Car when a brick came flying towards her. In 2012, 29-year-old Olga Dajkovic was riding in the passenger seat with her family. They were driving down a road in Russia just like any other day. Their car had a dash cam, not knowing what it was about to capture. In the video, a semi-truck passes by the family's car when a brick is seen flying in the air going towards Olga. The brick smashes the window and hits Olga in the head. Everyone in the car is screaming while Olga has been knocked out by that brick. Olga was rushed to the hospital but later died from her injuries. This is your reminder to be safe on the road and always be observant.
Who threw that brick?
Is your school spying on you? I'd put money down and say that your school gave you a laptop to use for your studies. If so, open up Google Chrome on your computer and type in Chrome://policy. This is going to allow you to see what your admin, aka your school, has allowed on the device. If you open it up and there's nothing there, that is a good sign. But if some policies actually pop up, you're going to want to click these link out buttons to see what the policies actually mean. When you click on that, if there's anything related to video capture allowed or screen record allowed, your school is watching everything you do. I'd recommend covering that webcam up.
I never even thought about that before. When, schools being nice, I remember when they was handing out all these laptops for the kids to use. They have another freaking purpose, man. That's crazy, man. Those backdoor systems they can put on the laptops.
The World's Most Dangerous Conspiracy Theories, Season 2. This picture represents conspiracy theories from the most well-known to the darkest. Some of these theories say that once you learn the truth, there's no return. For this series, we're going to be picking a couple from each category until we reach Tier 10, the point of no return. Alright, Season 2, welcome to Tier 1. Today we're going to be talking about Ouija boards. A Ouija board is a board printed with numbers, letters, and symbols in hopes of communicating with the dead. The history of the Ouija board is just as mysterious as the game itself. A woman named Helen Peters claimed to be a very strong psychic and actually invented the board herself. Eventually, Helen Peters' brother-in-law named Elijah wanted to get these things patented so that he could sell these everywhere. Helen Peters and Elijah traveled everywhere trying to get this patent, but the offices said they couldn't release a patent unless they had proof of it working. But consequently, nobody in these offices wanted to even get close to the board for unknown reasons. Until one day they traveled to Washington, D.C., and the chief of patent walked in the room and said, "You don't know me and I don't know you." Then he said, "If this board can tell me my name, I will sign the patent for you right now." The board apparently spelled the man's name. He walked out of the office, looked at Helen Peters and said, "You got your patent." Years later, Helen Peters and Elijah had a falling out, and Helen said she no longer wanted anything to do with this board. Elijah, on the other hand, continued selling these boards until one day he fell off of a 3-story building. He actually survived the fall, and some bystanders saw his body laying in the road. They picked him up, put him in the car, and they hit a bump in the road, and his broken rib pierced through his heart. After that, the family sold the rights to the board, and all the way up until Helen Peters' death, her last words is, "Do not play the Ouija board, it lies." And now you can buy a Ouija board from any store, and they're marketed to children. So the question remains, are these boards just a hoax, or was Helen Peters Peter's trying to warn us of something much darker. Make sure to like and follow for tier 2.
Here's some horror movie fates that are even worse than being sewn into a human centipede. Because just when you thought you've seen it all, I'm here to bring you the worst of the worst. I don't really see a lot of people talking about this, but there's one scene in this movie that still haunts me, and it's been years since I saw it. Wrong Turn from 2021 is about a group of friends who go hiking in the Appalachian Mountains. And there they encounter a cult called the Foundation, and this cult has a very unique justice system. And the scene that I'm talking about is how this cult chooses to punish people who commit crimes such as trespassing or even lying. One of the characters in this movie is sentenced to darkness, which is a punishment that is worse than death. And basically what that means is that their eyes and ears are burned out with a hot poker and their tongue is ripped out of their mouths. These people are then kept alive and thrown into a dark cave where they live the rest of their lives in silence and darkness. You literally see all of this happen in the movie, so that definitely traumatized me a little bit. But if you're into body horror, this movie will definitely give it to you. This is the 7th movie in the Wrong Turn franchise, but you don't really need to watch the other movies to watch this, it'll still make sense. A part of me kind of wishes that it was a standalone movie and had nothing to do with the rest of the lore, but overall I did like it. Let me know if you've seen any movies that you think are even more disturbing than the human centipede, and follow for more horror and movie content every single day.
In Spain, they say if you hear a sack dragging after midnight, it's already too late. El Hombre del Saco, also known as the Sack Man, is known as an old man who carries a sack around and kidnaps children. He is ugly, skinny, and eats the children he kidnaps. But don't worry, this only happens to children who misbehave. In 1910 in Spain, some believed that drinking the blood of a child and taking their body fat and putting it onto another person's body would cure tuberculosis. There was a man named Francisco Ortega, and he had just been diagnosed with tuberculosis, and he was desperate to find a cure. He went to see a healer named Augustina Rodriguez, and she sent him to a man named Francisco Leona, who was a barber and a healer. The man told him he could cure him for 3,000 reales, which would be equivalent to $13,000 today. Francisco then went to Augustina's son, Julio, and told him that in order to find a cure, they needed to find a child. On June 27th of 1910, Francisco used chloroform on 7-year-old Bernardo Gonzalez Barra and placed him in a sack. He was then taken out of the sack and stabbed. Francisco then mixed Bernardo's blood with sugar and drank it. Bernardo was alive for all of this, and eventually he was taken to a place called Las Posicas, and his skull was smashed with a rock. Bernardo's body fat was then removed so they could use it on Francisco's body. Once they were done, they hid Bernardo's body in a crevice with herbs and stones. Once Julio found out that he wasn't going to be paid for any of this, he went to the authorities and told them that he found the body of a small child while he went bird chasing. Once authorities arrived, they took Francisco Leona, the healer, into custody. During trial, all 3 men got in trouble and received death sentences. Since then, many have been afraid of encountering El Hombre del Saco.
This is a test to see if you have healthy eyes. If you pass all 5 levels, your vision is perfect. All you have to do is pick one out of the 10 colors that is different from the rest. Starting off easy, you can clearly see that number 7 is lighter than the rest of them. 97% of people pass this stage, but it's about to get way harder. Okay, let's move on to medium. This one is a little more difficult and will require a little more attention. The correct answer is 2. Level advanced is even harder. Only 30% of people make it past this stage, so really focus and you'll see that the correct answer is 4. Superhuman. This level is really going to test your vision, and I know these look identical, but if you look closely, number 4 is slightly different. And the final level, Impossible. 92% of people failed this level, and the answer is 10. Were you right? Comment below.
I think it kind of got
3 paranormal and mysterious
right.
stories that will give you goosebumps. Number 3. In the 19th century, in the town of Amherst in Nova Scotia, a chilling and terrifying tale took root. Esther Cox, an ordinary-looking young woman, claimed to be tormented day and night by poltergeists. The spirits that haunted her moved objects, slammed doors, and scratched her. Despite thorough investigations and numerous accounts of this chilling haunting, the enigma was never solved. The mystery remains obscure, weaving a web of intrigue through the decades. Number 2. In 1809, an autumn chill takes hold of Europe. Benjamin Bathurst, a renowned British diplomat, is en route to England after a vital mission in Austria. On the way back, Benjamin takes a stop at an inn, where he mysteriously disappears. Despite intense searches, there is no trace of him. No one in the inn saw him leave his room. His shoes and belongings are still there, but there's no trace of Benjamin. To this day, his fate remains shrouded in mystery. Number 1. The legend of Ben Sublet, a tormented miner, who allegedly discovered an evil gold vein of immense value that could fill the coffers of several kingdoms. However, the location of this mine remains an oppressive mystery. Skeptics question the existence of this colossal wealth, supposedly hidden in the gloomy Guadalupe Mountains of Texas. Is Sublet's insidious treasure, a specter of gold and desolation, still waiting in the dark depths, ready to bewitch the intrepid who tries to unearth it?
This is the disturbing moment this woman laughed in court after she took this 3-year-old's life in a random attack. On June 3rd, police received numerous phone calls about a stabbing at a grocery store parking lot in Ohio. At around 3 p.m. on this day, 38-year-old Margot Wood was loading groceries into her car while her 3-year-old son Julian sat in his car seat. That's when 32-year-old Bianca Ellis entered the car and began stabbing the little boy. When Margot noticed, she tried to stop the attacker, and as a result, she was also wounded. Julian was then rushed to the hospital where he unfortunately passed away. Now, what's disturbing was that this was a random attack, and after looking at surveillance footage, the attacker was seen following the mother and the child in and out of the grocery store. Then, when Bianca was brought into court, the judge began reading out the indictment, and she was seen smiling and laughing the entire time. And after an assessment was done on Bianca, they're arguing that she has bipolar disorder and had a psychotic break, which explains why she did what she did. And this story only gets crazier. Before this incident, Bianca confessed to another murder in Bakersfield, and she even gave details of what she did with this person's body. She also warned officers that if she wasn't arrested, she was going to murder someone and eat their flesh. But none of this was taken too serious, and she was released from the mental institution, and not long after, she committed this heinous crime.
She literally said what she was gonna do and they still let her go.
This is the world's smallest dog. Her name is Pearl, and she's a 2-year-old Chihuahua that lives in Central Florida. Pearl stands at 3.59 inches tall and weighs 1.2 pounds. She's shorter than a popsicle stick and around the same length as a $1 bill, and she can fit in the palm of your hand. Pearl was recently awarded the Guinness World Record for being the smallest and shortest dog in the world. She's a descendant of the previous world record holder, Miracle Millie, who is 3.8 inches tall, which is just 0.2 inches taller than Pearl. Pearl's owner describes her as a calm dog who likes to go for walks and play with her toys. She also said that Pearl loves the attraction she gets for being so tiny.
Wow, what the hell? World's tiniest dog. She's a descendant from the previous world's tiniest dog. That makes sense. That tracks.
Y'all, this is some crazy FB news, y'all. So this little girl right here had this baby, right? Tell me why this little girl right here had been being SA'd by her biological father since she was 9 years old and had shared 3 children with this man. Now, the reason that this all popped off is because the 2-year-old was like 6 pounds. So CPS got involved and found out the 2-year-old was being malnourished. And they got involved, and then they did some tests, and they realized that all 3 of the children belonged to her and the biological father. Now she's currently 21 years old, and allegedly everybody in the family knew about this. The grandma knew, the grandpa knew, everybody knew. This is some sweet home Alabama BS, because I don't understand how nobody told what was going on to anybody, to CPS. The 9-year-old tried advocating for herself and telling CPS what was going on, but they did not listen to her, nor did they believe her. Now, they did a DNA ancestral test and said that the 16-year-old and 38-year-old were related. That was her biological father. She is currently 21 years old. And it says at the time they were living at the same residence. And it also says that the doctor is taking care of the 1-year-old. And that's when they realized that the 1-year-old had features that resembled ancestral DNA, was like related, like they were related to one another. This is a picture of one of the children with the biological grandpa, who's also the biological father. This is another picture of the son with the grandma. Now, she knew, I think this is the grandpa and the grandma, but they knew what was going on and they did not help their granddaughter. And this is the entire post, pause to read, of the daughter stating what happened to her and her being ready to speak out about her situation because she felt like nobody believed her. And at this point, she's saying that everybody who did believe her passed away. And I believe that was the grandma, the grandpa, but they still didn't do nothing to help her. This is some crazy stuff, but this is her now, and this is the biological grandpa and dad now. He's still free and alive, and she's saying that, yeah, I honestly feel like he should be unalive, because why would you do this to your own daughter?
The world's a dark place, man. That doesn't even make sense.
Karla Faye Tucker was sentenced to death for murdering 2 people with a pickaxe. And for years, that was the end of her story. Until something happened. Karla Faye Tucker was born again. While she was in prison, she became a devout Christian. She renounced violence. She became a model inmate. She even married a minister. So Karla Faye Tucker made the transition from a child being sold to men by her mother to a cold-blooded killer to a born-again Christian. And that was inspiring to a lot of people.
I was forgiven, and I experienced that forgiveness. It freed me up inside to soar.
Soon her case didn't really become about her very ugly crime. It was about redemption. Karla's dramatic religious transformation garnered her a lot of support within the Christian community, including televangelist Pat Robertson, and he usually championed tough-on-crime policies, but even he fought for clemency for her. The argument made by Karla Faye Tucker's supporters was this: the Karla Faye Tucker who committed these crimes no longer exists, so does she still deserve to die for it? It's definitely a thinker. It poses questions about justice, mercy. Is the goal of a prison sentence to punish or to rehabilitate? But here's the kicker. The problem with mercy in the legal system is that it's rarely about fairness. The question also needs to be asked about why Karla received the international sympathy she did, when many others on death row never did. Like, is it genuinely because she was rehabilitated, or was it because she was a soft-spoken, pretty white woman who fit the mold of someone worthy of mercy? On the other side, the families of Karla Faye Tucker's victims had their own questions. Like, why did Karla deserve mercy when she didn't have any for Jerry Dean or Deborah Thornton? By 1998, Karla Faye Tucker had been on death row for 14 years and had exhausted all of her appeals, meaning the only thing that could save her from being executed was being pardoned by the governor of Texas, who at the time was George W. Bush. He said no. He said she was found guilty by a jury of her peers, and it's their job to enforce the laws. So Karla Faye Tucker was executed by lethal injection on February 3rd, 1998. To this day, Karla Faye Tucker's case still haunts the death penalty debate. And it forces us to ask what justice is actually for. Would Karla Faye Tucker's life be better served helping other people in prison, or did she deserve to have her life ended because she brutally ended 2 other people's lives?
3 times, and she's seemingly now gone missing for good. It was midday on the 16th of December 2008 in southern Manhattan, New York. Some men were working on a ferry deck when they noticed something extremely strange in the water. There was what looked like a woman in the water floating face down. They immediately sprang into action and rescued her from the water. She gasped for air and they were stunned that she was still alive. Her name was Hannah Up. She was a 23-year-old Spanish teacher who'd gone missing 3 weeks prior. They rushed her to hospital where she needed urgent treatment for hypothermia and severe sunburn. She told staff that the last thing she remembered was going out for a run. She was diagnosed with a condition called dissociative fugue. It's defined as a psychological state where a person loses awareness of their identity and engages in some form of unexpected travel. Hannah was obviously frightened by the incident but tried to carry on her life as normal. 5 years later, though, she would suffer the same fate. It was September 2013. She worked as a teaching assistant at that point in Maryland when her phone and purse were found abandoned on a path. Her mum reported her missing, and she remained missing for 2 days when she suddenly remembered who she was while she was in a creek. She went up to a member of the public and asked them if she could use their phone to call her mum. Then the following year she moved to St. Thomas in the Caribbean. On the 14th of September she left a note stating that she was off for a swim before going to work, but she never turned up at work. She never called anyone to let them know what she was doing or if her plans had changed, and her clothing and belongings were found just abandoned on a beach. It's now 7 years since she last vanished, but her family refuses to give up hope. So what do you think? Where has she ended up? Is she still alive? Let me know in the comments.
Kids. Imagine living with something like that, man. Dissociative fugue, disease, something like that. So one day you just completely normal, then the next you just you wake up and you're like 10,000 miles away from your home. It's a hard life to live. Seems like you have to have a lot of loved ones around you, bro. She's gone for 7 years. They never found her. Who knows?
Who are geniuses? Part 1. Firstly, meet Akrit Jaswal, and by the age of 7, he became the youngest surgeon in the world when he performed a live surgery on a 6-year-old patient successfully. Akrit was also accepted into medical school at the age of 11 and has an IQ of 146. Next, when Kim Eun-kyung was 3 years old, he was able to solve algebra problems, and at the age of 4, he was fluent in 4 different languages. But that's not it, because at the age of 8, he was invited to work for NASA, and at 16 years old, he left NASA, and it said he has an IQ of 210. Finally, these paintings that you see are not done by an adult, but a child. His name is Edmund Thomas Clint, and he created 25,000 paintings in his lifetime until he unfortunately passed away at the young age of just 7 years old. But his artwork will live forever.
I want to talk about
It's the next Picasso, man.
which is of this woman, Amy, going through the McKamey Manor haunted house. Because while the video is bad, there's one specific part that I think people really need to know about. So some background for people that aren't familiar, McKamey Manor is a haunted house run by Russ McKamey, and it's essentially just a torture chamber. People who go to this haunted house have teeth ripped out without Novocaine, they get buried alive, they even have horrible. And recently, the owner, Russ, was just arrested for attempting to kill a woman twice, which I covered in the most recent episode of my podcast, Heart Starts Pounding. But while I was doing research for that episode, I came upon this video of Amy going through the experience. And the whole thing was recorded and put up on the internet, except for one part, and that's the part I want to talk about. During the experience, Amy's told that 2 brothers are going to come rough her up, but then the screen goes black and it just says, "I cannot show you what takes place," referring to what happened to Amy when the brothers showed up. And the next time we see Amy, she's sitting in this freezer and her spirit looks completely broken, like something bad just happened, but we weren't able to see what occurred. Amy later did an interview saying that when the brothers showed up, she was actually tortured really badly and used the safe word, but was not allowed to end the experience. And that to me is the worst part of McKamey Manor, because even though McKamey Manor is just torture, they say that there's a safe word you can use to end the experience. But as I was doing research for this episode, I kept coming across stories of people who said they used the safe word and were not allowed to stop. They had to keep going. I get more into it in this episode, which I think is worth listening to if you're curious about McKamey Manor and what actually happens there. But yeah, I would say if you're interested in going to this place, you absolutely shouldn't, especially if you're a woman.
This video has got the internet going crazy because a guy in Melbourne, Australia is quite literally claiming that his dog was playing with a ghost. And after watching this, I bloody believe him. Now he insists that his backyard is fully secured and locked by a high fence where there is no way for another dog to get in. He also said that he ran outside to check if he hadn't lost the plot and that the ghost dog was nowhere to be seen. And if this video hasn't got you contemplating life, another video which has scarred me for life is this bastard. Now keep your eyes on the collar of the black dog on the right. So as you can see, the 2 dogs are just barking and barking, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, for some reason, they just go completely quiet. A few seconds later, the black dog then randomly jerks backwards into the side of the crate, and its collar comes off of its own accord.
Is that an edit at the end? Oh, man, they're in Ghost Town.
On camera doing something deeply disturbing to win a chess match. Earlier this year, Russian pro chess player Amina Abakarova apparently needed a way to knock her opponent out of a tournament. So she decided to go to the extreme and poison the woman 30-year-old Ume Osmanova in what's being treated as an assassination attempt. Amina poured mercury from a thermometer onto the victim's chessboard before her next match and smeared it all over her side of the board with one of the pieces. Osmanova said she began feeling unwell during her match 30 minutes later, complaining of sudden severe nausea and dizziness, prompting an immediate call for medical assistance. After the security footage was reviewed by authorities, Amina had no choice but to confess to the murder attempt. Osmanova ended up making a full recovery, as the attacker was banned from future chess competitions and stripped of her previous titles. Abakarova now potentially faces several years in Russian prison for the senseless attack.
Disturbing fact. All over a chess match, man. Because you wanted to win, you couldn't do it the fair way, so you just had to go and cheat in order to win that match, man. People just don't know how to take their L's, bro. You gotta learn how to take L's in life, man. Everybody gotta go through it. It's part of going on.
That will ruin your
coconuts kill more people than sharks every year. Same with cows. Vending machines are actually twice as likely to kill you than a shark is. France was still executing people via guillotine when the first Star Wars film came out. There are more fake flamingos in the world than real ones. There are more tigers in Texas than the rest of the world. There's enough iron in your body to make a 3-inch nail. Beethoven and George Washington were alive at the same time. In fact, George Washington was in his 40s when Beethoven was born. There are more stars in space than there are grains of sand on every beach on Earth. It rains diamonds on Saturn and Jupiter. A buttload is an actual unit of measurement, equivalent to 126 gallons. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts.
We learning. Especially about the more tigers in Texas than they are in
This
the
is
rest
a
of the
true
world.
horrifying story of a haunted house in Jumeirah 1. This story was submitted by a family, a mom, a dad, and 3 daughters. The story happened in 2016. Jumeirah 1 is an old area in Dubai. Many houses there are old, though they are very expensive, since they're just a 5-minute walk from the beach. This family moved in a new house with a 1-year lease contract. After organizing furniture, they moved in and the 3 daughters picked the rooms they wanted. On the 3rd night, the youngest daughter, age 10, came to her sisters crying, saying she doesn't want to sleep in her room anymore. When they asked her why, she didn't want to speak. She then slept with them in another room that night. On the 4th night, she comes back at 1 a.m. crying again, but this time she seemed petrified. She was shivering, begging not to sleep in her bedroom. One of the sisters gets up and walks towards her room. She bends over to get a peek, while the 2 other sisters were staring at her from behind. This sister got paralyzed from waist up. She wanted to scream for help, but she was not able to move a muscle. And her sisters behind her didn't know that she was struggling. She was frozen in her spot. She fell down a few seconds later, and she runs to wake up her parents. She was shouting intensely, explaining what just happened. The father gets up and gently goes inside that bedroom, as if someone in there was calling him. He goes in and shockingly closes the door behind him. It was a terrifying moment of silence, as the whole family waited for the father outside that door. A minute felt like an hour. He comes out with an agitated face and says, "All of you should leave this house now." The mother knew exactly what her husband was going through. She acted normal. She took her daughters and left the house. Never try fixing a situation like this if you're angry. This is the latest update. The father is fine. The daughters are okay. The whole family is safe and happy in a new home. But just to show you how haunted this house is, in 2018, the landlord decided to demolish and rebuild this house. They were 2 weeks behind schedule because 13 deconstructing equipment were damaged during the process.
13? The house has some bad energy to it. That's why they had to leave, man. Not shopping for them. Maybe he got himself into a situation that he couldn't get out of. Maybe the owners did something to him. We don't know, man. Sounds scary. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're true seekers seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on this video. Comment down below. Also, hit that post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next video. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.